Coach Hunter is no good there, Jock, because Coach Jock Clark has won the battle. Timmy Martin goes into the middle, as we expected he probably would.
Well, you know, I think it's as I said, you play your best ruckman in the ruck, don't you?
You do. It's an elimination final here. It is the semi, but elimination because the loser is out and the winner advances to the preliminary final next week against the Storm. This is Bendigo's most experienced one, Jock Clark, on a magnificent afternoon here at the QEO.
It's the oldest one, but I'm happy to have lived to see another one because it is a great day for footy. And up they go, Compston early, but Martin keeps his ground, gets the tap, got it to Holmes, who's got a free kick. So the first take out from the centre will go to the Dragons through the skipper, Blair Holmes. He looks ahead, then goes long, barrels it inside forward 50. No one can take the mark. Dorrington at the back, the crumb, read it well, goes across the ground, finds a teammate. Mark's taken in the back pocket down there by William Lee. He goes further afield, and they've got it through Tracy or...
Yeah, Tracy
Humphrey's out
on the far side.
So they'll move it nicely, Golden Square. It ends up with Welsh. Welsh will bring it into the middle. It's a 2-on-1 contest. John Coe just hoppo bumpo and height picks up the footy for the square. The old 1-2 through the middle. He went to turn and then received it back to half forward. Zeb Green dropped a mark he very well might have taken, and it is a whistle on play. What have you got there?
There's a shoulder. Golden Square. Dorrington just done his shoulder. It's out at the moment.
He's definitely popped it, so 55 out from goal. Keep your eye on that, Luke. The umpire throws it up in the air. Compston, he is doing the ruck work against Martin, and another pack forms at ground level, 40 metres out directly in front to the city end. 0 apiece, Golden Square versus Sandhurst. 1.5 in the first on Bendigo's fresh air.
Doc goes out, puts it back in, the way he goes again.
Just tapped it.
He's got those sort of shoulders, though. Dorrington has a lot of trouble with him, but, well, he keeps going. What's going on, mate?
Yeah, true.
Thank you very much. Chance for the Dragons through Dole. Wobbles one inside forward, 50. Plenty of numbers there for the Dragons. Can't get a clear possession. The defensive Golden Square stand up close to the line. It's pushed over and out of bounds for a throw in. Deep in the forward pocket. 2 minutes gone, first term, no score on the board. First semi-final, all over Red Rover for the loser. The winner plays in the preliminary final next Saturday afternoon.
The umpire will hurl it back in. It's at the city end. Sandhurst are doing the attacking. Tim Martin, he tried to direct it in the direction of Seb Green. A little bunt with his fist. That was very unusual. It put it over the boundary line. We'll have another throw in. Doing the attacking here, the Dragons. It's been inside forward 50 for probably 90% of this opening 2 minutes of this semi-final here at the QEO. Bathed in sunshine. Martin, constant. Martin in the direction of Craig. That should have been a throw, I reckon. Umpire didn't agree. Montague did well by hand. He just couldn't dish it off effectively. Toma was there for Golden Square. They track it towards the boundary line. 70 out. Craig now by hand to Wharton. Bangs it on the left and puts it inside forward 50, but it was an odd kick that just bounced over the line. We'll have another throw in. So interesting to start there, Luke.
Yeah, very interesting. Timmy Martin, a lot of the talk about him prior to the match. He's moving very, very well. Dorrington there, Doc Raul has come out, put the shoulder back in. He'll be pretty ginger on that shoulder all game now.
Not sure whether Timmy Martin's probably numb from the neck down, but anyway, he's out there having a fair crack. Has taken and kicked directly across the ground where nobody can keep it in. It bounces over and out of bounds for a throw-in just inside the forward 50-metre arc for Sandhurst.
Jacko?
They're dominating at the moment, the inside 50s, 3 to zip Sandhurst. So all the ball, and as you say, Luke, Tim Martin's looking terrific so far.
I reckon he's got every tap out, Martin. And there's another one to Lee Coughlin, who picks it up, goes across the ground, wants Green, just went over his head. He's got to go back and hunt it down, Green. Bumped out of the way by Lee. Lee picks it up, wants support, gets a hand pass out. Dog's out of trouble. To half back, great mark. Taken down there at full stretch by Morecambe. He goes down the wing grandstand side to Captain Jack.
He puts it on the left. He puts it in the direction of Walters. In fact, it was Rosengren. Couldn't make it. Let's see what they can do here through Thrum. He overran the football, then he picked it up again. He'll put it on the left. He's got a hard leading player into the square it goes, but it's going to be one for a push, and it'll go the way of Golden Square. So, didn't see it.
Skinny Bear, is it?
It is Skinny Bear. It's interesting. Skinny Bear lined up full forward deep for Golden Square, and Collins lined up deep for Sandhurst. So some really quality players playing deep for their respective clubs.
45-degree angle. The distance is only at 25 metres, but he is kicking to the Barnard Street end. Windsock, there's a little bit in it, so he just needs to start it left a fraction to put it through for the first major afternoon. Adam Baird, great player. He started it right. He ignored my advice and actually almost went out of bounds on the full, snuck in for a behind. So the first one of the afternoon, one behind Golden Square. Sandhurst yet to score. 5 minutes in the first. Thanks to Aussie Disposals as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
So the Dogs on the board. Dragons to bring it back into play. Cody Price. Lovely kick, long, direct, down the middle, and Martin takes a beauty. Oh, plays on with a hand pass to Holmes, but he was collared. They had him. Ball spills free, almost in the centre of the ground. Contest is on, they go to ground. The invites went out. They all turn up for the party, and the umpire will ball it up right smack in the middle.
That's the intention from Sandhurst early, is just to play very, very fast football. Handball on and get the runners happening as much as possible.
Ball up, centre of the ground, up they go. Compston won that one out. Couldn't put his skipper on the end of it. Another pack develops and we will ball it up again. We've played 5.5 minutes time in the first term of the first semi-final. It's Golden Square one behind. Sandhurst yet to score, thanks to Aussie Disposals.
It's Martin in there doing some hard ruck work in the direction of Wharton. And is that a whistle on play?
Thought it was.
Up the field against Durrington on green.
So Zeb Green, probably a fraction too far out to score. He'll put it into the corridor. Not sure if that was his intended target, but he hit him anyway in Johnny Coughlin.
I reckon it was.
You reckon?
He was stood there on his own, Coughlin.
He was the only guy. There was 3 Golden Square guys around him.
It was a low bullet ball and just hit him nicely. So directly in front, John Coughlin. Man on the mark, Captain Jack Geary stands at 38 metres, maybe a fraction closer. Johnny Coughlin, he's another good player, got the long sleeves on this afternoon in the warm conditions, sprays it wide, and that is a minor score. So one behind a piece, 6.5 in the first, thanks to Choices Flooring. Bendigo Bulk Carpets as we take you inside semi-final football on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
So Dorrington brings it back into play for square. Plays on, then goes wide to the outer side, can't find a target. Ball spills off hands over the line and out of bounds for a throw-in. So just on forward 50. Point apiece, no goals scored as yet. 7 minutes gone, first term. There's the throw-in. Up they go. Martin and Compston. Maybe a dead heat. Who can track it? Skinny Wharton can take it. Turns. Kicks in towards the hot spot. Nobody can take the mark. Under the pump, the square defence. Kick it off the ground. They get it out of defensive 50. In there was Jack Geary. Couldn't take it. Wants support. Got it. Came out through Toma. He kicks over the centre of the ground. Half forward. Outer side. Can he find a teammate? He can. Square. High ball inside forward 50. Poorly directed. Welsh couldn't get over there. And the Dragons have taken a mark in defence and they will
50 metres.
50 metres. Well, there you go. What was that for? Any
Yeah, what was it for?
He
Luke?
crept over the mark.
naughty. Crept over the mark. Sandhurst ball. Just backward of centre. They go towards Craig and he marks it half forward for the Dragons.
It was a great spearing pass by Lockie Ross there, who set up that passage of play with the interception.
As it goes inside forward 50, Collins takes a contested mark. It must have been touched. Umpire said play on. He tries to go around the body. Smothered football. Walters is there for the Bulldogs. Umpire just lets it go. It's still at the ankles and we'll have another ball in. And do you see that? Luke Dorrington just punched the coach's box here. I reckon he might think he's out with that shoulder.
Yeah, it's just going to affect him for the day. Knowing him, I reckon he'll play the game out.
25 metres out from goal. Umpire hurls it up. Martin wins the tap. There's nobody there except for Dalrymple of Golden Square. Ended up there nicely with Kerrin. Kerrin goes to a teammate in Thrum. Thrum on the left. Oh, made a player work there in Keating. Couldn't get it. They're going to cough it up here. It will be Dole by foot that goes 20 metres backwards and he finds Cody Price on the wing broadcast side.
Dragons trying to set up, but not breaking any world records. Now they come again. This time, courtesy of a long kick right to the forward 50. Collins read it well, gave it off to Green, got it back. Whoa. Andy Collins, shot from the pocket. He's an absolute gem. Oh, can he play football? First goal of the game. On the board for the Dragons, they're 1-1-7. The Bulldogs one behind, 9 gone, first term, thanks to Kangaroo Flat Storage.
Yeah, fantastic by Andy Collins, great finish. You notice how Golden Square just pushing so many numbers back and they're really containing that corridor. Sandhurst have a really small forward line, so they can't just bomb the ball in. They can't go long and deep, so they're always looking for try and hit that shot. That's why we saw Mitch Dale go backwards 25 metres just to try and create and get some space.
It was a nice setup, wasn't it? So we're back in the middle. Martin against Compton. Martin won the tap to Zach East. He'll pick up the football. Now a little give to Wharton by hand was okay. He goes in the direction of John Coughlin, who fumbled and picked it up out of side wing. He's strong, bustling. He'll send it inside forward 50, looking for Collins. There's 3 Bulldogs down there. I'd call him a pack if there's 3 of them. Will Lee gets the football. He's coughed it up to McKinley of the Dragons. Now inboard by hands to Collins. Might have been held without it. They screamed. Umpire didn't agree. And Kieran gives it there to a teammate. It's nervous. Dalrymple can't pick it up. Off half back here. Dragons. Half forward for the Dragons. Now Golden Square. Handball over the top. No clean possession. We're just treading water out of side of the ground. Morecambe is there for the Bulldogs. Ground level. Umpire will throw it up out of side of the ground. 1-1-7 Sandhurst. 1 behind Golden Square, 11 in the first on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
I'll tell you what, Johnny, good luck with that. When a minute and a half, there was no clear possession. They just rolled and rocked with it. They moved it towards the centre of the ground. There's the ball up. Martin taps it over his head, then kicks it off the ground, hacked it 10 metres Dragons way. Or thrown up maybe to Holmes, who threw it on the boot, got it inside forward 50. Chance for the Dragons. They couldn't trap it. Collins lays a tackle. Goes after the football in defence for the Dogs. Might have been grabbed without it. Umpire said he was. And Lord Sebastian Coe's got the free kick in defence for Golden Square. Goes wide. Target out there is Welsh, and he takes the mark right on defensive 50 and plays on.
He'll go down the broadcast wing. Keating will be his intended target, but it was a nice mark by Lockie Ross, who intercepted. He'll go inboard and finds Lee Coughlin. Dishes it off by hand to Coughlin, to Coughlin, to Coughlin. Johnny to Lee, Johnny to Lee. Now it's a long ball inside forward 50, but defensively a good mark has been taken by Michael Dalrymple. He'll send it wide, and he finds Tommy Tomer with those. In fact, it's Much with the white boots on.
So Much goes wide again, finds a teammate. It's the big fellow Johnson, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who's marked just outside defensive 50, out of sight of the ground. Goes back inboard and gives it to Lee. He's been busy in defence early for Golden Square. Willie Lee goes to half-back and finds a teammate. So Square looking to work it out of the Sandhurst forward half of the ground. Now another little kick's okay, and the mark is taken by Morecambe. Now Morecambe plays on. It's kicked long to half forward. Dragons back in numbers in defence. They take the footy from defensive 50. Or kick to a contest. Centre of the ground. Dragons player took it. Lost it in a tackle. Was that Lee Coughlin?
Yes,
Who
it was
dragged down? Lee Coughlin. Dogs free kick. They go wide. Wobbled down in the direction of Dorrington, back on the ground. Gets through some traffic. Threw it on the boot. And it's a Dragons free kick. Well, it was high rather than long. The Dragons will take it and get out of trouble.
Cody Price sends it wide. Broadcast wing. There's nobody there. And a punch by Dalrymple. Probably could have marked that in the end there, Luke, and has put it out of bounds for a throw in.
Every time Sandhurst are going long, Golden Square have got the big tools. And the opposite end, Lockie Ross has probably had 4 or 5 marks in the back 50.
True centre wing. Broadcast side. Martin v. Compton. Ground level. Holmes couldn't grab it. Hard work by Dale Lowry. A tackle. But,
Free kick to Lee Coughlin. He didn't have the footy, so Dale Caldwell's picked it out to the Sandhurst player.
Lee Coughlin. He's got the darker boots on this afternoon. Traditional. He'll go to half forward. It was a poor kick. That was unusual for him. Let's see what Much can do with the football. He puts it in the direction of Dalrymple. Got one around the ears, and it'll be a free kick off half-back for the Dogs.
So Dalrymple goes wide. That's okay. And gives it to Tracy. Tracy from defensive 50 for the Dogs. Down the lines, good. Sliding in. Rosengren takes the mark. Rosengren's got it, though, at half-back. He's played mostly in the forward half for Square of late. His kick to the centre of the ground's good, and Sean Young takes it. So Young's got it for the Dogs. Now can he set something up? Goes wide. 2-on-1 contest. Skinny Baird was the target. Got rid of one. Went back. Put his body over the contest. But he was out bustled. Taken by East. East goes down the wing. Out of side. Bounced through the legs of Skinny Wharton. Dragons have got numbers though. They take it. Worked wide. Kick came off the boot and towards half forward to Wharton, who followed up. He has a bounce. Has 2. Crosses 50. Goes for home. No one there, and he's put it wide and through for a minor score. did all the hard work. Well done. Skinny Wharton took him on, got rid of it, got it back, but just missed. So it's 1-2-8 Sandhurst, one behind 1 point Golden Square, 14 and a half gone, first term, thanks to Aussie Disposals.
Kieran sent it to Much, who sent it to a teammate out wide in Jack Geary. And Jack Geary takes a mark still in his defensive zone, outer side wing. A short ball to Anderson. Anderson got the short sleeves on this afternoon. He'll come laterally across half back and finds John Cove for the Dogs. He'll come laterally again, so we've gone from one flank to the other. Kieran's got a lot of time here for the Dogs. We'll pick it up. He'll try to step around a player. He's going to get caught if he's not careful. Turner did well for the Dragons, but calm and cool. That was sent to Walters of the Dogs. He goes into the middle. He finds Toma. Toma now a foot past a half forward. It's poor. He's looking for Lowry. Lowry now is good enough at 55. Picks it up. He straightens up. He'll send it to the goal square. Oh, he's got a diving player there. Couldn't quite grab it in Baird, Adam Baird. Now it is the Dragons under pressure. A short little ball, and it is Lockie Ross who ends up with it deep in the back pocket. 7 point margin here, Joel.
Cody Price is holding them up in the last line of defence for the Dragons. Had a couple of chances, the Dogs. If it wasn't for him, they might have a bit more on the board. They go towards defensive 50, and the mark is taken. So Sandhurst have got the footy, and they'll go back into the back pocket. Not sure why. Cross the ground laterally to Ross. So Ross takes the marks in the opposite back pocket. Still no exit. He's trapped. He's locked up. Ross looks to go back into the defensive goal square. He does. Always worries me when I see sides do this. That's the fourth. Now East takes it. He kicks long and direct. Clears defensive 50 to a contest. Numbers needed at ground level, but the umpire's picked out a free kick. It's going to go to Golden Square. Player to take it down there will be Sean Young, and he'll drive them back towards half forward.
He's got a leading player there who's taken a chest mark. Donegan, who was good last time we had a look at him. Donegan on the left. A long high ball to the top of the square. They'll set themselves. A lot of players around this football. Dragons, Lay did well. He gives it over to a teammate. They'll send it wide and long beyond 50. Attempted a juggling mark there, was not paid. Ends up again with Donegan. Donegan, a low ball, ineffective. Now the Dragons will come back the other way through Wharton and did extremely well to the wing and finds Craig.
Yeah, great work, Wharton, and the kick was up to it. So Craig's got it. Centre of the ground now for the Dragons. Pardon me. Just goes long, direct to forward 50. Collins didn't mark it, but he comes out with the footy. Turns one way, then the other, turns the opposition inside out, then kicks across the ground, delivers the ball to Lockie Watson, who's marked at centre half forward. Goes back across the ground. Now a chance again for the Dragons to kick deep inside forward 50. Contest off hands. Ball goes over the line and out of bounds for a throw-in.
There was 8 Golden Square players inside 50 and only 3 Sandhurst players. So that is why the Sandhurst players are hanging onto the ball, waiting until something opens up. With 8 versus 3, it's not going to be easy.
Neither side can really find any space at all inside forward 50, Luke. It's just all kick to packs.
It is.
And meanwhile, the Dogs will clear with a high ball to half-back, go up high, couldn't take the mark. Holmes got out a hand pass, wanted Wharton, he couldn't take it. Chance for the Dogs. They might get clear through Tracy. His hand pass back to the centre of the ground. Now they've got some overlap.
Toma by hand will give it to Captain Jack Geary. He'll send it along the wing. His intended target was Rosengren. Dived after the football. Oh, Dragons in trouble here through hand. Umpire lets it go. Give it by hand to Coughlin. That's John. A neat kick into the middle to Green. To Height. Handball to Craig. Craig now runs. Series of handballs. Now to Wharton. Skinny Wharton from 50. Standing start. It's wide. Fades. Minor score. So the Dragons go to 1-3-9. Golden Square 1 behind. 19 in the first. Thanks to Aussie Disposals on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Some concerns for Benny Haberman and the Golden Square coaching staff. Sandhurst have won both the centre clearances and the inside 50s are 16-6.
So Geary's got it in the back pocket for Golden Square. Well, Joel Wharton's got a huge leg on him, but he's missed. He can't find his radar yet. He's put one each side of the major opening. Geary kicks high to half back, plenty up. No one even looked like touching the football. Back at ground level, Coe gets involved. gets it out to Tracy. Tracy busy early from half-back, throws it on the boot, goes to the centre of the ground. Dragons take it, Price down the ground, goes to Craig. He's been busy, and he marks between centre and half-forward for Sandhurst.
Craig now, he'll on the left. It's an awkward looking ball into the corridor. There's no one there except for a sea of Dogs players. Into the middle now. Thrum by hand to Jack Geary. Jack Geary sends it long inside forward 50. He'll be looking for the big man, Dylan Johnson. Did he get collared or just fell over? Cody Price, he's had a heap of it this afternoon for the Dragons. Sends it back the other way. Joel Wharton by hand, back to Price. Price will send it to the wing, opposite side. It was an awkward kick, maybe effective to Blair Holmes. Couldn't grab it. Dole off a support. Handballs into space. It's going to be a contest here, 2-on-2. Who will stand up? Hyatt did. They all go in there. Hamish Morecambe did well as well. Halfway between the centre and the half-forward flank for the Dragons. 1 goal, 3-9 Dragons. 1 behind Golden Square. 20 in the first, thanks to Kangaroo Flat Storage on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Thought the runner was going to take a mark there a minute ago. He's heading for it. Ball up, half forward for the Doggies. Taken down there in defence though by Kieran for the Square Boys. Goes to the centre of the ground. Welsh a chance. Can he break a tackle? He can. He's off. Has a bounce. Runs to 50. Hand pass wide. Chance here for Square. Shot on goal. Missed. Minor score. Gee.
Jordan Rosengren was the player.
Good build-up, but just blew it at the last minute. Square 2 behinds 2 points. Sandhurst 1-3-9. 21 gone first term of the first semi-final, thanks to Aussie disposals.
I just sense there, Luke, that the Dragons have just got this by the throat at the moment. To me, they feel like they're on as it comes to Craig. Defensive back corner of the square. Now he'll send it long. It's a 60-metre ball. Finds Lee Coughlin. Now on half forward. Turns inboard. Collins leads into the pocket underneath the scoreboard. Takes a chest mark and he'll line them up.
That is the first time that Sandhurst have been able to get over the top of the defensive zone of Golden Square and actually get it into a one-on-one situation. There was actually only 4 players inside the forward 50, and when you got Collins one-on-one, beautiful kick, he's lined up for his second.
It was silver service delivery too. Hit him straight in the breadbasket. Now he stands at 50, hard up against the line, near the scoreboard. That gives his team a 7-point advantage, 9-2. The Dragons, city end. It's long, it's high, it is not very good at all there, Jock, so a minor score. 1-4-10 Dragons, 2 behinds Golden Square, 22 in the first, thanks to Choices Carpets, Choices Flooring, Bendigo Bulk Carpets on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Well, they've both had opportunities, boys, haven't they? Really good conditions, great conditions for footy here today, but they've just blown some that maybe should have been kicked. Kick out's okay. And Skinny Beard, it came from Dorrington. Skinny Beard marks. Still in defensive 50 for Golden Square. So he's come out for a run on the ball. Goes long, centre of the ground. 2-on-1 contest. Dragons with the numbers. Great work, Lockie Ross. Gets through to traffic. Then goes towards Wharton at half forward. Just went over his head. Rolling ball. Finds the line over and out for throw-in.
Both sides are playing that, leaving their half-backs at half-back and then the half-forwards are cramming up into the corridor. That's why we're getting so many uneven numbers across the half-forward lines.
Umpire hurls it back in. Martin wins the ruck work. Craig at ground level. Defensively, Dogs, they did well though through Morecambe. Punched it over the line. We'll have another ball in. 51. How's things at ground level there, Jacko? Yep. Good, thanks, John. No worries.
You've just got me on the spot, I must admit. But look, it's pretty good. The rotations are going through quickly as well. Warm conditions for finals footy.
Height, it's 60 metres out from goal. They bind him up, Anderson and Morecambe, and we'll do it all again. So it's an 8-point margin, 23.5 in the first. It's an elimination final, although it is the semi-final, Jock Clark.
Yeah.
Did that make sense?
Well, I know it doesn't matter what they call it, Johnny. Loser
Loser's
doesn't
out.
play next week. Ball up just outside forward 50 for the Dragons. Umpires allowed them to play on. It squirts down towards the wing outer side. Dragon player marks on his own. Goes back inside forward 50. Over the back, taken by Coe. Hand pass. Put a teammate under the pump. That was Dorrington. He was caught but managed to get rid of it to Morecambe. Over the top. Morecambe's hand pass to Walters. He's in trouble. Has to get rid of it. Now the ball's in dispute. Still across half forward for the Dragons. They go to ground and the umpire comes in to ball it up.
Both sides are going in pretty fearlessly, Luke, it must be said. A blood rule too. One of the players, Lee Coughlin, coming off the ground. Looks like he's got a bit of blood coming out of his nose, so he'll get that fixed up, I'm sure, by the doc, Rowan Molinar, and he'll be back out shortly.
Yeah, both sides are really, the pressure's been great. Intensity at the football's fantastic. Guys like Morecambe, you just love watching him attack the football.
So it's just a minute of wait, is it, for the blood rule? Is that what we're doing? Okay. I'm ready. Now you can go. Thank you very much. Ball up. Just outside forward 50 for the Dragons. Martin won it down. Couldn't put a teammate on the end of it. Taken by Tracy. Through the pack. Took him on. Tackled to the ground. Can't get out. Umpire balled it up again. Couple of little pushes and shovels and niggles and jumper punches. Not much in it. Umpire just needs to ball it up and they'll soon concentrate on the contest again. Like that. Martin backhander inside forward 50 for the Dragons. Dogs defence stand up though. Lee took it, gave it towards Baird. Baird kicks across the ground, races on. Coe, can he get there? He's under the pump from Collins. Good contest. They both go to ground. Coe won it, got it to a teammate. Dogs throw it on the boot and clear to half back out of side. Comes off hands. Price was there for the Dragons and put it into touch. It'll be thrown in across half forward for Sandhurst, out of side of the ground. Two behinds, Golden Square, 1-4-10 Sandhurst, 25 and a half gone, first term, first semi-final.
Cody Price, gutsy, he just puts his body on the line. He just drifted in front of the pack then and got a fist to it. As at ground level now, it's thumped out towards the boundary line. Wharton picks up the footy. That's Alex. He'll send it to Height, who's by himself on the wing. He's got Green, who ignored him. He was at 50. He decides to go into the corridor looking for Collins. Oh, wasn't that nice? He danced one way, then the other. Gave it by a hand to Green. Put him under the pump, however. And it'll be a free kick and it'll go the way of Anderson. But, geez, they were mounting there, weren't they, Luke?
Yeah, Collins is... They're playing him deep. He hasn't gone through the midfield yet, so he's just going to be their number one target inside 50.
Kieran sent it beyond 50, but the Dragons will come the other way. Montague picks it up. He runs his measure to 50 and then sprays it wide, out of bounds on the full. No change to the score at the 26.5 minute mark. Sandhurst 1-4-10, Golden Square 2 behinds. Thanks to Kangaroo Flat Storage as we take you inside finals footy on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Boys, two very, very skillful sides in great conditions. We've had one goal between both of them, nearly at quarter time.
Finals pressure. A lot of them see it as perceived pressure and think they're under the pump when they're actually not.
Yep, and that is true. So short kick in, went to Lee in a defensive goal square. Now it's got to go back. Don't know why, but it doesn't matter.
Bernie Haberman had a little chat to the Golden Square chief statistician a moment ago too. Didn't look too happy, understandably so. 20 inside 50s to 8 in this term in favour of the
Kieran
Dragons.
clears outside defensive 50, but the Dragons come straight back in, and Green has taken a mark. He's found some space, 40 metres out directly in front. Siren's gone, boys, and I'll tell you one thing, he won't play on.
Let's hope not, for God's sake.
So Seb Green, he'll get the distance. This would be a real lift for the Dragons.
There's a bit going on between Tim Martin and Adam Baird too in the centre of the ground while this kick is taking place. They had to go at each other at the last stoppage as well.
So Seb Green for the Dragons lines up and he's missed. He has missed. Quarter time in the first semi-final with elimination the result for the loser, and it is Sandhurst 1-5-11 lead Golden Square 2 behinds, 2 points.
Bit of argy-bargy there, Johnny, between the two sides, Golden Square and Sandhurst. Tim Martin right in the thick of that.
He's looking to go back again, Jacko.
Yeah, I think the Sandhurst boys have just told him to head to the huddle, so we better go to quarter time.
Get amongst it there, Jacko. We want an update soon as we come back because it is a big elimination final here this afternoon at the QEO. In accurate kicking, Sandhurst appear to be on top at the moment. They are 1-5-11. Golden Square at 2 behinds. A 9-point margin. In a moment, we continue with more live and direct local finals footy. This is Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Then to try and slingshot the ball back down the other end into space, but you've got to get your hands on the footy and stop Sandhurst winning those 50-50 contests. I think they're up in that area, and that's why the ball's played predominantly in their forward half.
They need to kick some goals, Golden Square, in this second term, Jock Clark.
Yep, start with number 1. It'd be a good thing for the second term, wouldn't it? Back in the centre, Martin continues in ruck for Sandhurst. Matty Compston for Golden Square. Let's get the second term underway. Umpire throws it aloft. They both jump early. Came down to Martin. He tapped it wide. Couldn't find Coughlin. Loose centre of the ground. Hit over the top. Holmes goes through, hunting the footy. Couldn't get it the first time. Martin goes again. Umpire's finally picked out a free kick. It'll go to the Dogs. Tommy Toma takes it. Centre of the ground. Gets a hard lead from a player at half forward who couldn't at the end take the mark. That was Morecambe. He goes to ground. And the umpire will ball it up across half forward for Golden Square. Good start, Square. Morecambe probably needed to take that mark. He got to the front, just couldn't hang on to it. So ball up, 55 from the Dogs' goal. Up they go. Martin got it down. Geary got the ball though. Couldn't get through the traffic. He's locked up by Blair Holmes, the two skippers. And the umpire will ball it up again. Minute gone, second term.
Free kick down the field.
No, there is.
Yep.
What was that? Any idea?
Got thrown to the ground. So Braden Welsh got thrown to the ground and has received a free kick.
Gee, well, I was watching the footy, so...
It was off the ball too.
Shot at goal for Golden Square early in the second term from 40 metres.
Actually,
goes for home.
Hamish Morecambe was the kick.
And he's put it through. Goal to the Dogs. Morecambe's put it through. So they go along with their first goal of the game in the first minute of the second term to 1-2-8. Sandhurst 1-5-11. Not a shootout as yet. 1:25 gone. Second term thanks to Aussie disposals.
A really encouraging start there for Golden Square with that Hamish Morecambe goal. The key message from the Sandhurst huddle at quarter time was that they really want to move the ball quickly and just to keep the pressure on Golden Square.
Back into the middle. Martin v Compston. Compston won the tap in the direction of Toma. Couldn't find him. Golden Square through Dale Lowry. Flicked over the top to Toma by hand. Collects it nicely on the wing. A high ball. Sends it in the direction of Morecambe. Morecambe couldn't grab it. Now we're at 50 now for Golden Square. Outer side of the ground. Ball is in dispute. Jordan Rosengren's over there. Coughlin picked up the football and it just tumbles over the line off his boot and we'll have a ball in. 70 out from goal. 3-point margin. Sandhurst have the lead. The Dogs kicking to the town end, which always to me seems like the scoring end. Not much of a breeze to speak of. Sunshine blaring here at the QEO. Timmy Martin won the tap. Coughlin by foot. Dribbles it towards Joel Wharton. Couldn't find him. Goes over the boundary line and we'll have a throw in. 1-5-11 Sandhurst. Golden Square 1-2-8. 2.5 in the second on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Absolutely perfect conditions here at the Queen Elizabeth Oval this afternoon. The ground is a treat. There's no breeze. The sun's shining. Beautiful spring conditions. Throw in across half forward for Square outer side. Pack develops. The umpire comes in and will ball it up. Goals, though, are so hard to come. They're like finding a coal mine in Victoria. You can't find one anywhere, can you?
No, just the numbers around the contest. There's both sides just throwing all their numbers around it, making it really difficult to break away cleanly.
So another ball up and another pack develops and another ball up. Still across half forward for Golden Square.
Sandhurst have started with a bit more of a traditional 6 this quarter as opposed to last quarter. They let a few go up to the ball.
Up they go. Martin in front. Compson got it over the back. Who can come out with it? It's the Dragons who can through Montague. He gets a little bit of space, then unloads long to half forward, outer side of the ground. Marking contest. No one could take it. At ground level, it's the Dogs through Skinny Wharton. He's been good. Goes inside forward 50. Collins the target. Couldn't take the mark. Gets the crumb. Turns him inside out. Couldn't keep his feet. Then had to get rid of it. He was well hassled by Anderson. Then he goes and gets it. He's dumped into the turf. Play on the call. Right on forward 50 for Sandhurst. Umpire's picked one out, has he? He's picked out a free kick, I reckon, to Golden Square at half back. As players come together.
Sandhurst.
It's Lockie Ross who's getting up a little gingerly, boys,
Yeah,
so he's got the free kick.
I had a 50% chance of being right and I was wrong. Ross takes it, wastes no time. While they worry about the push and shove, he went straight inboard to Green, who led into space and takes the mark. 45 out, bit of an angle. Sebi Green will line up and shoot for goal.
Geez, they're into Martin, aren't they, Luke? I've been watching as well.
They're just trying to put him off his game. That was for a pretty crude tackle. Lockie Ross got thrown into the ground. That's why the umpire paid the free kick.
Didn't see it. Don't know what I was looking at. Green goes for home and hits the stick. So the Dragons go to 1-6-12. Golden Square are 1-2-8. 5 gone second term, thanks to Kangaroo Flat Storage.
Good player, Seb Green, in good form too. Kicked 3 goals last week in Sandhurst's 5-point win over Kyneton.
Dorrington for the Dogs at fullback. Umpire says kick it. He does. Oh, it's dangerous to Tomer. He went 15 metres just down the line, directly in front defensively. Tomer was good enough, but was under pressure. He kicks it to Zane Kerrin, who's been pretty good, still in his defensive arc. He'll now send it long and wide. Montague's there. He's got front possession. Couldn't get it. Let's see what can happen here with Thrum. Thrum will put it on the foot to Morecambe. Morecambe now. He's got a leading player in Johnson. It was a great one. It was, you're right. Hits him on the chest. Takes a mark underneath the scoreboard. 35 out from goal. Pretty tight angle, and we'll line them up for the Dogs.
That was a really good transition. They just held the ball, a couple of really daring kicks in that back 50 just to hold possession. And then once they got out the back over the top of Sandhurst, clear space for, this is Johnson's first real chance at having a shot on goal.
He's got a good leg, so he'll get the distance all right.
I was just about to say, you read my mind there, Jock. Let's see what the accuracy is like. It's a good spinning ball, if nothing else. Ooh. Straight over the umpire's hat. So Golden Square, they'll take the lead here. 2-2-14 leading Sandhurst. 1 goal, 6-12. As we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM. 6 minutes have gone in the second. This is the voice of Jackson Saunders.
And Luke, well, Dylan Johnston last week, he came back into some form. We saw him last Saturday night, 4 goals, his first of the day today. That's so important for his confidence.
Definitely. I thought he got some really good form last week. Just really attacked the football, and his goal kicking was excellent, and we've seen it again with that kick there.
Back in the centre of the ground, Compston won it down to Geary. Geary gets support wide, Dogs to half forward, bouncing ball, Johnson out on a lead. Oh, he's 19 foot tall, they kicked it at his bootlaces. That doesn't work. Holmes takes the crumb for the Dragons. Kick was smothered, and it Rick O'Shea's over the line and out of bounds for a throw in.
I reckon you'd feel that the game's sort of been on Sandhurst's terms, yet they haven't taken those opportunities in front of goal, and now Golden Square have hit the front. Momentum might swing now.
Interesting. Throwing across half forward for the Dogs. Martin got it down. Skinny Wharton took it, got it over to a teammate who thrown it on the boot. Kicks to the centre of the ground. Montague got it. After a clever tap from Green. Gets around an opponent. Goes towards half forward. Up with Collins. Couldn't complete the mark. Dogs squirted out wide though. They'll get out of trouble. And they've got a player loose at half back on the outer side of the ground.
It'll go down the wing, and it is Johnson playing right up the ground now. Takes a mark. He'll turn and go. 60-metre ball inside forward 50. Just a pack of Dragons at the rear of the pack. Ruff did well. Dished it off to a teammate. That was okay. Sends it to Montague. That was Turner that gave it to Montague. Broadcast side in his defensive zone. Had a good game last week. Montague. Now he decides to kick it. Holds up in the breeze. He kicks it to a 3-on-1 contest. Dragons only had the one with Holmes. Couldn't get it. Trying to bustle through there was Johnny Coughlin. Might have got one in the back, and he did. Umpire agreed. And defensive side of the centre wing hands it off there to East. East will now send it to the opposite side wing. A mark's been taken by Alex Wharton.
So Wharton's got it between centre and centre wing. Turns, wastes no time. Collins the target, 2 to beat. Couldn't get to the fall of the ball. Chance now for Collins. He goes again, but he's outnumbered. Dogs defence stand up. Little toe poke out of defence. Play on's the call. Hand pass, maybe into trouble. It is. East gets across and lays a tackle. The ball's at half forward, out of side for Sandhurst, and the umpire has picked out a free kick to the Dragons, and East will take it. So Zach East now unloads. Long bomb to the top of the goal square. Big fly down there from height. Couldn't drag it in. 15 metres out from the Dragons' goal. Pack develops, and the umpire's going to ball it up. Got up high, height.
Certainly did, and the crowd got behind him too. The breezes picked up a bit at ground level too, across the ground.
2-point margin here. Dogs have got the lead, but it's deep in the forward zone for the Dragons. Height is there. He just shoveled it out into the direction of the pocket. A lot of players around this football at the bottom of the pack. Lee Coughlin, as he always does, they'll pick him up off the deck, and on top of him was Blair Holmes. So some big names at the bottom of that pack. Only metres out for the Dragons. They get up gingerly. Umpire Goodridge will throw the ball up into the air. Christian Height nominates himself as the ruckman against Compston. Go figure, Compston wins, but it's tapped straight to Coughlin, who put it around the body for a minor score. So Dragons go to 1-7-13, the Dogs 2-2-14. 10 minutes in the second, thanks to Kangaroo Flat Storage on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Cannot buy a goal at the moment, the Dragons. had their chances. Dorrington brings it back into play with a long direct kick. Compton marks, hands off, Skinny Baird. Oh, gets through a tackle, has another bounce from the middle now. Goes to half forward, can he find a target? Up they go, no mark. It was Tomer at the back, needs some support, gets it. They turn around, Combs inboard from Rosengren. He went towards a vacant goal square. The ball bounces right across the face of goal and out of bounds for a throw in.
Golden Square just seem to be winning more of the footy at the moment, Luke. Centre clearances this term 3-0 and inside 50 6-5.
Yeah, and Sandhurst aren't making the most of those opportunities, and then Golden Square kicking into an open forward line.
Throw in forward pocket for the Dogs, hit to the front of the pack. They're after it. Thrum can't keep it in. And it's over and out of bounds for another throw in right next to the behind post. 10.5 gone second term. It's Golden Square 2-2-14. Sandhurst 1-7-13.
City end, Keating doing the ruck work for the Dogs against Martin on this occasion. 30 out from goal, directly in front now for the Dogs. Sandhurst under pressure. A kick came from out of the pack by Coughlin, but he's going to be rewarded because he got upended under the chin for one. And deep in his defensive zone, he'll send it back, further back to Price. Deep in his back pocket, broadcast side. In the Rifle Brigade pocket, short pass. That was neat. It was okay to Collins, who's down back now. Morecambe stands the mark. Collins will weigh up his options. He's a smart player, decides to dump it down the line, hugging the boundary line, looking for Pascal Craig. He was the only drag in there, and it come off hands of the Dogs players, and we'll have a throw in. This is the type of bloke I am, Jock. Right in front of us, I'm going to give it to you 70 out from goal.
You're not that good a bloke, Johnny. Don't get carried away with yourself. There's the throw in. Just outside forward 50 for the Dogs. Martin went up unopposed. Got it to Collins. He's under the pump. Coughed it up. Sean Young got it. Got it over to Lowry, who throws it on the boot deep into the forward pocket. Morecambe the target. He can't get there, and it bounces over for another throw in.
Golden Square are just putting that pressure on. That forward pressure is really good. Sandhurst usually like to run and create out of the back up. They're having to go back, kick over the mark a lot now.
So another throw in deep in the forward pocket for Golden Square. Plenty of numbers in the forward 50 from both sides. Thrum went over the top of the football, couldn't pick it up. Lowry couldn't take it. A series of hand passes, goes back to Price, last line of defence for the Dragons from a standing start, goes wide, clears defensive 50. Alex Wharton the target under the pump, couldn't take it. Collins can, lends support, got it to Skinny Wharton, kick to the centre of the ground, not quite. Defensive side is marked by Craig, plays on, good work, has a bounce, ran his distance, then he lost the football. They tackled him. Has he turned it over? It's still a chance with momentum for the Dragons to take it to half forward. Finally, there's a whistle on play. Dragons free kick. Skinny Wharton will take it from the centre square, drive to half forward and find a player on his own in Mitch Dole.
49 out. Go ahead there, Jacko.
The free kick for Joel Warden was for a trip too, incidentally. So now Mitch Dole for a chance to line up for his 11th goal for the season.
I reckon there should have been one in the middle there for travel. Is it such thing, travel there, Luke? Do they call it travel in footy?
I don't think so, but dropping the ball perhaps.
Yeah, you get what I mean though.
Yeah.
Dole now on the left. Long, high, to the goal square, right on the line. Comes off hands for a minor score. 1-8-14, playing 2-2-14. We're all tied up. 13.5 in the second, thanks to Kangaroo Flat Storage on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
I'm just staggered at the lack of goals though, seriously, in these conditions. I know there's a lot of pressure on, and I know the style of game it is, but nobody can find an opportunity, and that for two skillful sides is quite beyond me. Chance for the Dogs to work it out. Big Johnson on the wing, grandstand side, picks it up, goes to half forward, misses the target, ball squirts over the back to Rootsy. Oh, it took his time to get back there, now he's got a free kick.
Jeez,
He was
something
grabbed.
going on over here, I tell you what.
Dean Goodridge is about to put a few cards up, I think.
Gee whiz. There's some
Well,
big
meanwhile,
punches.
it was played on by Rootsy, went to John O'Coughlin, who's got a free kick for a crude tackle. I'm trying to watch everything.
That was Rocky Balboa Apollo Creed stuff, I tell
I
you
just
what.
watched the fight.
So John Coughlin takes it, goes to Skinny Wharton, still inside defensive 50 for Sandhurst. Went backwards, wanted a teammate in Josh Hand. Oh, went over his head. He had to go back and hunt it down. Lucky he had time. He did. Then he steadies and goes to half-back out of side, marking contest. Free kick to the Dogs. Here they come again. Back inside forward 50. Chance down there for Rosengren. Lost his opponent, picked it up. They fire at goal and put it through for a minor score. Jacko, can you go down and see if there's any glad wrap between the goalposts?
Yes, I can do that, Jock. And, well, it's pretty fiery down here. Tim Martin involved in that last little incident too for Sandhurst. The Golden Square players aren't giving you much mercy.
Point the difference. 15 to Golden Square, 14 to Sandhurst. 15-minute mark of the second term.
Ball has moved its way up to the flank in front of us. Attacking side for Golden Square. Umpire will throw it back in. Geez, there's a lot going on in this game, I'll tell you, and that's not including the football. As Collins by hand gives it to Lee Coughlin. Looking there for a teammate, couldn't find him in green. Intercepting mark for the Dogs by Dorrington. Dorrington, true centre wing position. He'll send it to the city end, inside forward 50. Up they fly, back of the pack. John Coughlin tracked it, picked it up. Sold some candy, gives it to Lee Coughlin. It was Coughlin to Coughlin. Handball to Ross into the danger zone. Need to be careful. Rough, might be collared.
He's caught.
Caught with the footy. And they were trying to be two cute dragons. They're going to pay the price, and it's going to be a free kick. That's a bit of a coach killer, Luke. That'd absolutely pull your hair out, wouldn't it?
Yeah, they are just falling down when they've got the ball in the hand. They've just got no run. They've got no flow to their game at the moment. I think they're falling down across the centre half forward line. They've got no targets to go to, which means they're a bit unsure when they've got the ball in hand in the back line because they don't know where they're going.
Harry Donegan, left footer. Every left footer I've ever known has been a sensational player, Jock Clark. Crosses the mark of 50. On the left, fades, and a minor score. Let me down. First time anyone's let me down in my whole career. 2-4-16, 1-8-14. Golden Square 2 points up, 16.5 in the second, thanks to Aussie Disposals, as we get local inside sport. Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Ganan's Postecoglou here to teach him how to score. Kick out marked by Dole, just inside defensive 50 for Sandhurst. On the left foot, scrappy kick, but it gets to John O'Coughlin. Claimed the mark, umpire said no. You had some grass in your fingernails, but Coughlin takes off across the ground, still inside defensive 50, then forced to kick straight to a Golden Square player, but it's coming back. Oh, there's that travel you were looking for, Johnny.
Well, you knew what I mean,
umpire
though.
said he ran too far without bouncing the ball, and it's come back. Free kick to Square. Skinny Baird will take it. Player on the marks, 45 out. Bit of an angle, and Baird to line up.
Dale Caldwell's right onto that, and there's some real urgency down at ground level for Golden Square since they've got the momentum.
Can Baird kick a goal when many others can't? From 48 metres, Skinny Baird goes for home and does just that. Goodness gracious me. He's found the big opening. So the Bulldogs get their third on the board. They go to 3-4-22, leading Sandhurst 1-8-14. This is the first semi-final. Curtains for the loser. 18-minute mark of the second term. All thanks to Kangaroo Flat Storage.
Let's not forget either, Luke, the Golden Square are a relatively inexperienced side come finals. 11 of their players last week had their first finals appearance.
Yeah, but sometimes the young blokes don't care about that. They just go out and play. So they've definitely got momentum at the moment.
Martin wins the tap. Keating got held off. Somebody got held in the middle. I thought it might have been Keating. It wasn't. Now it is with Dale Lowry. He sends it long to the pocket. He'll be looking for big Dylan Johnson again. Comes off hands and will have a throw in, 60 out from goal.
Johnson goes under the ball far too often too, is another thing for my liking. He's a big man. Hold your ground. Hold your space.
Too many players lead to that pocket for my mind as well. Not only with these two clubs, every club seems to go there. As Tim Martin, he's thumped that 60 metres in the direction of Joel Wharton, did well by hands, gives it to Collins. He's kicked it into the opposition player and he's gone over the boundary line out of bounds. They were calling for out of bounds on the full, didn't get there, and we'll have another throw in. 22 playing 14, the Dogs, they're up in this game, 19 in the second, thanks to Aussie Disposals on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Throw in across half forward for Golden Square. Plenty up, Martin in front. Got it to the front of the pack. Wanted height, he couldn't take it. He lays a tackle on the Golden Square player, and the umpire has picked a free kick. What was that, too high?
Morecambe.
Apparently, yep, so Morecambe's got it all. Quickly to his feet, plays on. Round the body, along to the hot spot. Up they go. No one could take the mark. Thump to the front. Hacked out of the air by the Dragon defence. High to half back. Dorrington, the only one there, marks for square, and he'll send it back where it came from. Dorrington, Johnson the target, 3 to beat, went under it again, couldn't take it. Back of the pack, Dragons defence, pop it up, Highs, kick to kick, over the top, Keating couldn't take it. He gets support from Tracy, who throws it on the edge of the boot, goes across the ground laterally, and Skinny Wharton takes it and runs away for the Dragons.
Plays on quickly, he'll go into the middle of the ground, finds Lee Coughlin. He was looking to dish off there to Collins, but Collins was covered. Sends it wide to Montague. True centre wing position. He'll now send it in the direction of Height. Takes a strong mark, contested in front of his eyes. In fact, it's Pascal Craig, and he'll line them up 40 out from goal. Good strong lead and good strong mark there, Luke.
Yeah, and it'll be just on his range, I reckon, Codsy. So, yeah, very, very strong player.
Pascal Craig, 45-degree angle. Barnard Street end. Started slightly left, I reckon. And let's see what you can do with this football. Another left footer. He started it right. You're not listening to me. Didn't make the distance. Goes to the line. It's punched into the hot spot. Morecambe is there. Couldn't get it. Anderson. Oh, he's upended somebody. Chinned somebody at ground level for the Dragons. It might be Wharton. Keep your eye on that one, Jacko.
I think it was.
Yeah, it was Joe Wharton. You're right on it, Johnny.
And the umpire will throw it up. 35 out directly in front. 22 playing 14. Golden Square still in front. 21 in the second.
That was fair though. Clayton Anderson, only a little bloke too, so, you know, it was good battle, sizes. There's the ball up. 30 out from the Dragons' goal. Big pack of players around the contest. Umpire will ball it up again.
Fresh live MCD final update thanks to Norm Jenkin. Quarter time, Carisbrook 5-1-31, Royal Park 2 goals straight 12. They'll be a little bit late through the scores because of a stretcher incident earlier on.
No good. Hope everybody's all right. Ball up. Look at the numbers in there. Very difficult for anybody to get it out and find some space to work with, and the umpire comes in to ball it up again.
We do certainly hope, Jock, that those players are okay. John Gray and Jackson Bowen have both gone to hospital with different injuries, so that's a bit of a concern out there at Princess Park.
Absolutely. Ball up. Still 35 out from the Dragons' goal. Chance for the Dogs. They work it over towards the boundary line. It goes over and out of bounds. There'll be a throw-in. Forward pocket for Sandhurst. They're 1-8-14. Golden Square 3-4-22. Early days, Luke, but I get the feeling Sandhurst need a goal.
Yeah, they do. I think the momentum's definitely with Golden Square, and Sandhurst haven't kicked one for a very, 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 very long time.
Watson won the tap there for the Dragons. Squirts it over the top looking for Height. Couldn't find him. Offering support was Turner. His kick was smothered. Another smothered kick from the Dogs, and it ricochets off hands, and we'll have another throw in. Dale Lowry doing some good hard work out there along with Dorrington. So we'll do it all again in that pocket. We'll heave it back in. Keating does the ruck work. Height did the ruck work for the Dragons as well. Pack of players around this football all bound up, and we'll have another ball up.
Luke, you mentioned it's been a long time between goals for Sandhurst. I believe it's been 41 minutes, in fact, since Andy Collins got their one and only goal.
Not one player in one half of the ground. Everybody in the front half for the Dragons.
Still a lot of players around this ball. Let's see if I can get it out of here, Jock. If I can't, I'm going to give it up and give it back to you. It goes beyond 50 now here for the Dogs. They can't clear it. Some strong tackling out of side of the ground. Umpire says play on through East. East now gives it to Dole. Handball to Height. He goes to space. Nobody there except for Anderson.
Where does he go?
And it is the Dogs.
Where does he go? There's no one in front of him. He has to wait. He has to go laterally. Now somebody makes up some space. Chance down there for Thrum. Kicks it inside forward 50. They all hair back towards the square goal. Tracy gets there, takes it, fires out a little pass and puts Donegan on the end of it. They were bolting back towards goal for the square because there was no one in the whole front half of the ground. Anderson's looked up and thought, where the hell am I going to kick it?
And that's the way that Golden Square have been playing of late, of getting the numbers behind the ball and just running it into open space. That was a fantastic kick by Tracy. He saw where Donegan was and kicked it out and made sure Donegan got to where the space was.
Yeah, clever. They could have blazed away. So Donegan, from 40 metres, on an angle, goes for home and kicks another point. So Square go to 3-5-23. Sandhurst 1-8-14. You heard me right. 24 minutes gone. Second quarter of the first semi-final, thanks to Aussie Disposals.
Braden Welsh for Golden Square received a heavy knock. He took a little while to get up, but looks to be moving around good now for the Dogs.
Cody Price sends it to the outer side looking for Martin, but he was at the back of the pack, and it's Captain Jack Geary who's contested. He has taken it. Now he'll send it long into the goal square. Johnson, hands off football. Toma, he was front and centre,
Oh.
went round the body and just missed it for another minor. 3-6-24 Dogs, 1-8-14 Dragons, 24.5 in the second. Thanks to Aussie Disposals as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Well, if I had a special pen for writing down the goal kickers, I'd put it back in my pocket. So the Dragons to bring it back into play. East will do the kicking in. Goes long and direct, straight down the ground. Good kick, well out of the danger zone. Nobody could mark it. Loose ball, contest, chance for the Dogs. Kick across the body, back inside forward 50. East comes out, meets the footy, takes it on the rebound, then picks it up. Goes back to the centre of the ground. Geary went up, couldn't take the mark. Back there, he's got some support from Tracy. Anderson comes out, taps it along the ground. Pack develops, out of side wing. Umpire's picked out a free kick. It'll go to Golden Square. Game of inches. Had Sandhurst just got out, maybe. They didn't. And Geary's got the free kick between centre and centre wing for Golden Square.
10-point margin. His Dogs have got the lead. Geary will go 20 back to try to open it up to Dorrington. Now he'll send it wide. He's got Kerrin there who takes a mark uncontested. So they've swapped sides. They'll bring it down broadcast side. It's an underground ball to Walters at his ankles. Picked it up, but he's besieged. Lockie Ross just bounds him up. He didn't have any chance whatsoever. And on a half forward for the Dragons, we'll have a ball up. So just disposals there were ineffective. Mucked them up there, Luke.
Both sides are trying to switch the ball, but then they're being held up. And when you're trying to switch, you try and play on and get that run and carry.
Yeah, the idea was there. Martin, a backhander to Dole. That was okay to Price by hand. Price just buries his way through the pack to Height. Handball into nobody in particular. But he's riding shotgun there as Pascal Craig. Inside forward 50. Numbers. But Compton couldn't pick it up. Off half back for the Dogs. Long handball to Adam Baird. He runs. Needs to be careful. By hand. All puts Toma under pressure. It's a throw. And Skinny Wharton will get the free kick. Though it's play on through Johnny Coughlin.
One too many. They go to half forward. Anderson over the top. Big defensive punch. Umpire said he infringed. And it'll be a free kick to Andy Collins just outside forward 50.
Is it Green, I think?
No, well, I thought Andy Collins went and got the ball for him. He kicks inside forward 50. Compton backs back and takes a well-judged mark in defence for the Dogs. Hand pass off to Dorrington. Centering kick.
Whoa.
He wanted Skinny Baird. He couldn't take the mark. Recovered. He got the rebound. Then they've got him locked up. And the umpire will ball it up. Skinny Baird. Tackled by Skinny Wharton.
Golden
Two
Square,
skinny men.
Golden Square would have to be happy with how the ball is coming into that defensive 50 every time. Gives them an opportunity.
Up they go. Martin wins it out for for the Dragons. Couldn't put anyone on the end of it. Chance for the Bulldogs through Toma. Gets support from Captain Jack. No one in front of him. Kicks to an open goal and kicks a point. Even Captain Jack can't kick a goal. So the Bulldogs go to 3-7-25. Sandhurst 1-8-14. 28 gone, second term of the first semi-final.
Cody Price kicks it in. It's a shank. He's got support, however, by Ruff. Over the top by Hand. Look out here. Johnson might pick it up for the Dogs. He doesn't. He turns around and looks at Height and thought about giving him one under the chin, then thought better of it.
Just pushed him out of the road.
I'll tell you what, strap yourselves in here. I reckon this is going to ramp up this game in the second half. It is going to be a big elimination final here. It's a semi. The loser is out. Compton wins the tap. No one there for the Dogs. Height bangs it on the boot. Got the numbers. McKinley handballs it there to Craig. By hand to Green. Green will go long. He'll be looking for and finds. It is, who is it? That's
Lockie
Lockie Ross. Lockie Ross. He runs his measure. He just stood up, ran, sends it wide.
Gee.
Long bouncing footy out of bounds. And Captain Jack Geary will play on quickly deep within the
He couldn't even kick a point. He had a paddock. Where were the teammates telling him to go? Gee. So the Dogs clear, and it's kicked towards the centre of the ground. Two Golden Square players spoil each other. Morecambe and Skinny Baird. Loose ball. Chance here for the Dragons. It squirts out the back. Well, they went all the way back to half back to try and win possession. And the siren sounds for a very interesting first half of the first semi-final. And at the long break, it's Golden Square 3-7-25, leading Sandhurst 1-8-14.
Luke Monaghan, how did you see that opening half here of this cutthroat final?
Well, if I was the coaching staff of either team, I'd want to be in the Golden Square camp right now. I just think the game is played on Golden Square's terms. They are really congesting up Sandhurst forward half, and then when they get possession of the ball, they're slingshotting it into a really open forward line, which has a fair bit of unpredictability about it. Sandhurst, in my mind, are a little bit predictable. They're going to Andy Collins forward, and it's allowing Golden Square to get their bigger guys across. And because they've got such a small forward line, they can't afford to go in long and deep. They have to try and pinpoint passes, and the skills of them today are not quite there.
Jock, interesting to see both clubs, in particular the Dragons, have come together in the
Ball movement, whereas Golden Square probably happy to see contest after contest.
We're all set up for a big second half for one of these clubs in season 2017. It'll be all over, and for the other, they'll advance to next week in the preliminary final. For all the second half action, here is Jock Clark.
First semi-final, the Bendigo Football Netball League. Half a game of footy left for one of the sides for the season. Ball up, centre of the ground. Tomer after it for the Bulldogs. Picked it up, got it on the boot. Didn't gain much territory. Compston did. Got it wide, gave it to Tracy. Scrambled one to half forward. Skinny Wharton through the pack though. Great hand pass. Found Lay. Lay goes wide. Dragons out of trouble towards the outer side. Martin's found space on the wing. Takes the mark. Plays on quickly. Inside forward 50. Montague lurking at the back. Doesn't get through to him. Dorrington takes it in defence for the Dogs. Goes wide to Tracy. He's under the pump. Has to get past a tackle. Can't. Coughs it up. Gives it to Lee Coughlin. Runs to 48. Goes for goal. And the Dragons have kicked an early one in the third quarter. My jolly word they have. Lee Coughlin from 48 metres, when all about him in the first half couldn't find the opening anywhere, has kicked the Dragons second. Margin back to 5 points. Golden Square 3-7-25. Sandhurst 2-8-20. Minute gone, third term.
Fantastic pressure by Sandhurst through the middle. Mitch Tracy had the ball, tried to come inboard. He had 3 or 4 Sandhurst players just converge on him, and then the ball flung out to Lee Coughlin. Great finish.
Height's gone into the middle now. He's been playing predominantly up forward as Martin wins the tap. Height's in amongst it, and a number of players at the bottom of the pack. Also, Big Martin gets up off his knees. One of those knees was very sore last week, so let's see what happens this week as he wins the tap again. Compston sharked that footy, couldn't grab it. Jack Geary, though, received a ball out of the middle, then sends it long to the top of the square. Dogs are pressing here. Round the body, was picked up by Baird, who hits the post for a minor, and that would have been handy. 3-9-27, the Dogs. 2-8-20. Sandhurst, 2 minutes in the third on Bendigo's Fresh FM. In fact, it's 26 there. They're quick on the scoreboard there, Jock.
Goal of difference. Brought back into play. The Dogs can take it back. Picked up by Coe. Little pass is okay to Tommy Tomer. Got space. Goes with a pass. Mark taken. They play on across the ground, the Dogs, and they've got a mark now better in the corridor. Directly in front. 45 out. And they will have a shot on goal. Player with the footy, Dale Lowry.
Oh, someone's been dropped by Montague. Did you see that, Luke?
Yeah, he just pushed him over. He come in to give him a little bit of lip, I think, and he just pushed him to the ground.
Umpire was right there, nothing for it. But just a couple of square players found a little bit of space there a moment ago. So Lowry, chance to answer the Dragons' goal of a moment ago, comes in, fires at goal, absolute shocker, and he's put it out of bounds on the full. That is a terrible, terrible kick. So out of bounds on the full, penalty free kick to be taken by the Dragons. Last line of defence.
This is Hamish Lay with the ball. He was good last week. He'll look to bring it down the broadcast side. Oh, he goes short effectively by foot to Joel Wharton, raising the eyebrows there, Luke. Oh, Lockie Ross dropped a chest mark he should have taken, then spills in the direction of Donegan. Donegan by hands. He'll give it there to Braden Welsh. He'll put it into the corridor. Tracking the footy there will be Kerrin. Picks it up on the right. He's got a hard leading player in Johnson. Into the pocket. Couldn't mark it. Front and centre. Rosengren did well. A kick inboard. A leading player, and Thrum has been marked. Paid a mark. Had a little bit of it, and he'll line them up. 35 out. Not much of an angle to speak of, Luke.
That was a fantastic kick by, is that Geordie Rosengren that kicked that in?
Yep.
Little bullet pass straight in, and another shot on goal. This is good to see that both sides have had opportunities early in this game. It seems as though the game has opened up a little bit.
Thrum. He'll cross the paint mark of 50. The man stands
Not bad
at 30.
normally.
The windsock is going from left to right. So started out left. He did start at left, but way too left. Timmy Martin makes sure it goes through for a minor score. So Golden Square 3-9-27, Sandhurst 2-8-20. 4 minutes in the third, thanks to Aussie Disposals, as we take you inside finals footy on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
So the Dragons bring it back into play. Cody Price, great kick out, wanted Martin, first hands on it, couldn't drag the mark in with the second bite. Pack develops just outside forward 50 for the Dogs. Umpire comes in and will ball it up. 4.5 minutes gone, third term of the first semi-final. It's a 7-point lead to Golden Square.
Compson tapped it and it was sharked there by Height. He puts it on the left into the middle. Anderson overran the football. Offering support though was Kerrin. He'll send it wide looking for Tracy. They'll meet each other and the winner of that ball was Montague. He was tough at it. Umpire lets it go. Toma was at ground level. The numbers, however, with Sandhurst. Picked up by Hyatt. Inside forward 50, looking for Ross. Taps it over the top for East. Collins offers support. Top of the square. But calmly, neatly, Will Lee will send it to the outer side of the ground and the Dogs will get out of trouble through Dale Lowry.
Tako, who marks half-back outer side. Wonderful defence from the Dogs. Gee, they were absolutely under the pump and outnumbered, and they somehow scrambled their way out of trouble. They've got it on the wing now, outer side of the ground. Now come inboard back to Ko, who'll take the mark. Between half-back and centre, he goes directly across the ground and gives it to Much, who takes the mark. Reese Much goes back to the wing. Oh, to Kieran. Couldn't get there in time to take the mark, was out in front of him, but he's got a paddock, picks it up, goes with a little pass. Mark taken by Toma. Lateral football. Now Toma goes long inside forward 50. Chopped off the mark in defence. Taken down there for Sandhurst by, was that Rucci?
Yeah, big Rucci.
And he plays on across the ground.
He gave it to Price by hand. Price now will go. A foot pass was out of bounds on the full. His intended target was hand in the opposite back pocket, and he just shanked it. So a free kick will be given to Rosengren.
Just quickly, Adam Baird has come off the ground holding his ribs. Dr. Rowan Molnar's over again, helping out Golden Square. Hopefully it's just winded, but he is checking out his ribs.
Hard up against the fence. If he was any further near the fence, he could buy a hamburger from the stand over there. Rosengren. He puts it across the face, nowhere near goal.
Square mark.
And a square mark has been taken deep in the middle of the pack. And just have to pick out the play for you there, Jock. It's strong contested mark. And I reckon the player is Hamish Morecambe. And it is. So Morecambe, you don't expect him to take a mark like that. I reckon Timmy Martin was in the area as well. Morecambe, he's got a tight angle as well. Distance won't be a problem. Stabbed at it, accuracy was, and another minor to Golden Square. 3:10-28 the Dogs, 2:8-20 the Dragons, 7 minutes in the third, thanks to Kangaroo Flat Storage, as we take you inside finals footy on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
If this game finished now, both coaches at the end of it would just shake their heads about lost opportunities, Luke.
That's exactly right, and the successful one will just say we were lucky.
Yep. Kick out long, outside defensive 50, chance for the Dragons. Worked wide to Oscar McKinley. Can he keep it in? He can't. It's turned over. Toma back inside forward 50. Chance for the Dogs. Mark's taken out there. They'll go long to the hot spot. Up they went. Mark couldn't be taken by Rootsy. Close to the boundary line. Dogs 10 metres out from goal. Dragons good numbers in defence. Thrown on the boot. It'll clear defensive 50. Races on. Captain Jack. Can he get there? He can. He's got a couple to beat. Goes inboard to Ko. Ko goes with a little pass. Put a shorter teammate under the pump. Thumped away. Back into the centre of the ground. Chance for the Dragons. Collins backs up. Takes it. Stops. Props. Turns. Goes to Alex Wharton at half forward. He fell over. Captain Jack got there. Gets a hand pass. Out to Ko. He throws it on the boot. Goes to the wing. Grandstand side. Thumped away from Welsh. Taken by Skinny Wharton. He goes back to half forward. And Collins ran with the flight. And Mark just outside forward 50 for the Dragons.
Geez, he had players lining up.
I was going to say, but want to kick this goal because he had two players running into open space that he turned his back on.
Well, he's taken the responsibility, Andy Collins. He'll kick from 55. Slide angle. I reckon he can get the journey. They've all struggled with the accuracy. And he goes right to the line. Off hands and through for a minor score. So the Dragons are 2-9-21. The Square are 3-10-28. 9 gone third term, thanks to Aussie disposals.
Zane Kerrin will go short and deep into the pocket. He finds a teammate in Much. Handball over the top to Tracy. Back to Much. Handball back over to Tracy. Oh, they're mucking around. Gone. Lockie Ross will get a free kick. Over possessing the footy in the back line there, Luke, and they're going to pay the price.
I like this move of Lockie Ross across half forward. It happened in the last 5 minutes in the second quarter. He just provides something different, something unique. He's got a little bit of X factor about him. He can mark the ball high, and obviously we can see his ground works quite well as well.
They got into trouble, the Dogs. It was nervous. Too many handballs.
Dreadful defensive mistake.
Lockie Ross, 45-degree angle. Man on the mark stands at 36.5 metres. Outer side, underneath the scoreboard, to the city end. Bit of a breeze up his tail at the moment. Good player. Distance won't worry him. It's long, high, good spinning ball. And it is a major. Sandhurst now go to 3-9-27. 1 point margin, Golden Square 3-10-28. 10.5 minutes in the third. Thanks to Choices Flooring, Bendigo Bulk Carpets, as we take you inside local sport finals footy on Bendigo's Fresh FM. Luke.
It feels though that was nearly against the flow of play. Golden Square seemed to have the play. They've been winning a lot of the contested ball and had the ball inside 50 a lot of this quarter. But again, being able to move the ball into an open forward line, whichever side can do that the cleanest will win.
Ball up centre of the ground. Geary gets it and throws it on the boot for the Dogs. Up to half forward. Dragons' defence has been good and they're good again. Taken by hand. Oh, he might have been stripped of it. He was. Squirts out wide though, and the Dragons will still get out of trouble. They come down the grandstand wing to height. He takes the mark. Plays on. Goes to half forward. Great mark out in front. McKinlay takes the grab. So the Dragons now on a little bit of a lift. McKinlay plays on. Dumps it high inside forward 50. Plenty up. No one could take it. Oh, they went without it. Collins didn't. He's turned. Went on the left foot. Vacant goal square. No. Anderson just gets back and thumps it through for a minor score. Scores level at the Queen Elizabeth Oval. 11.5 gone third term. 3-10-28 apiece.
Dorrington will kick it in. Just the anticipation of this game. We're all tied up. 3-10 apiece. Poor kicking by both sides. High pressure finals football. The loser will be out. Dorrington, short pass by foot to Anderson. By hand, back to Dorrington, who ran a low ball and he put it in the direction of Keating. It was a poor kick, come off his hands, and it'll be out of bounds for a throw in. 50 out underneath the scoreboard.
Golden Square having a bit of trouble at the moment getting out of this defensive 50.
Yeah, they're a bit nervous up back with those an over possession of the football. I'm not just liking their form at the moment. Martin doing the ruck work. Over there helping was Much there for the Square. Captain Jack Geary did well. Gives it now to Toma. Toma's short, and a nice mark has been taken there on the outer side by Donegan.
So he's got it inboard, finds a teammate in Sean Young who plays on wide to the wing. Grandstand side, put a teammate under the pump. Dragons come from everywhere. Collins again, boys, he lifted, picks it up, goes to half forward and gives it to East. So East has got it. Too far out to score for the Dragons. Has a deep breath and settles it down. Wants some movement, calls the players to him. Now he goes, gets a lead. Puts it out in front, and the mark is taken by Oscar McKinley. Plays on. East runs past, gets the hand pass. Let's go. Long bomb into the goal square. Over the back. Almost. A mark to Ross. What's the umpire called?
Behind, I reckon.
It is through for a minor score. Off hands. And another one. So the Dragons hit the front by a point. 3:11 plays, 3:10. 13 gone. Third quarter.
It's been a nervous Golden Square in the back half for the last 5 minutes or so. Dorrington, a short pass, mirror image from last time, went to Anderson, and they mucked it up last time, Luke, so let's see what happens this time. Anderson, now he bombs it long beyond 50, hugs the boundary line. A little bit of a shove there by Hamish Lay, got away with it for the Dragons, comes off hands, and 70 out from goal. Outer side will have a ball in.
I'd really like to see Sandhurst take a bit of a risk and move the ball in a bit fast. They seem to hold it around that 50, 60 metre mark, waiting for the perfect kick instead of just getting it in to a one-on-one.
Umpire hurled it back in, but it's all with the Dogs. Captain Jack Geary, 60-metre ball down the line. Intended target was Rosengren. Couldn't mark it. They all track it towards the boundary line. Hand did well. He handballed it over to Price. Price to Johnny Coughlin by hand. His ball was smothered by, there's 2 or 3 Dogs down there. They all did well. Come off hands and we'll have a throw in. So we're in the forward zone now for Golden Square. 3:10:28. 1 point. They are trailing 3:11:29, 14 and a half in the third on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Well, they've got it down the right end, the Dogs. They need to respond because the momentum with the Dragons at the moment. Throwing just across forward 50. Up they go. Martin in front. Wins a good tap out. Can he put one of his teammates on the end of it? Ball's worked all the way back to the centre of the ground. The Dogs emerge with it. Lowry, wide hand pass. Who can run onto it? Young can. Picks it up. Goes into the pocket. Johnston on a lead. And the big fellow has taken the mark 40 metres out on a very tight angle and will unhurriedly go back and just have a shot, I'd suggest.
So he'll take his time, is that what you're trying to say?
He's not looking to do anything else, is he? So he's going to accept the responsibility. Big Dylan Johnston. He has kicked one this afternoon. Goes for home.
Oi.
Don't tell me. Johnston, don't tell me. He has put it through.
The main umpire might overrule here. They reckon it might have hit the post, but no, he's not.
No.
Jeez, Sandhurst players were into the umpire.
All clear. Well, Johnston, I'll tell you what, if you're not going to touch it a lot, make your touches count. That was a terrific kick. When everybody else has struggled to find the opening, he's kicked it 45 metres from such a tight angle. So the Dogs go to 4:10:34. The Dragons 3:11:29. 15 and a half gone third term. Is the game just opening up a little bit, Luke?
Yeah, definitely. The ball's making its way from end to end a little bit faster, and the open forward lines allows one-on-one contest.
Martin won the tap, but the Dogs are out here. It spills to the broadcast side. A whistle on play.
And just quickly, Adam Baird is sitting at the Golden Square bench with a jacket on. I don't think he'll come back.
Toma will send it wide to the outer side wing to Reece Much. It's a low ball, and Johnson's coming into the game. He's taken a mark, 60 out. He'll be too far out. He's got a player breaking for him. Rosengren in the forward pocket. Hard up against the line, takes a good, strong contested mark, and he'll line them up. Distance won't be a problem.
Fresh Live MCD final update, boys. Thanks to Norman Jenkin. Half-time, Carrisbrook 10-11-71 to Royal Park 2-1-13. And a progress A-grade netball score, Gisborne 21 to Kangaroo Flat 14. The Bulldogs by 7 goals in A-grade netball.
Rosengren, slow approach, crosses the paint mark of 50. Tight angle, he sends it high, he sends it long, and he sends it straight through the middle. 2 in a row in quick time here for Golden Square. 5:10:40. They are leading Sandhurst 3:11:29. 17 minutes in the third. Thanks to Choicest Flooring, Bendigo Bulk Carpets, as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM. And they've just started to steady there, Luke, haven't they, the Dogs?
Yeah, I was just looking at the matchup. Hamish Leigh played on Johnson in the first half and did a really good job. The last 2 contests, Rootsy's been going with Johnson, so looks like they've switched it back to Leigh, but for those 2 contests, probably not the right matchup that Sandhurst would have wanted.
Well, Johnston's going to mark if he's on a lead and they give it to him, some service with the footy. He's not going to stand in a pack. From the ball up, centre of the ground, squirts out, went high to half back, Dogs take it. It's pushed wide to Kieran on a wing, spilt the mark, got time to recover, goes to half forward. Down there, Welch, got a fickle bounce. Coming out was Coughlin, takes it for the Dragons, goes long to half forward, bouncing ball, went over the top. Big Martin took it, got out a hand pass, it squirted wide, taken by Turner, fires at goal for the Dragons, and almost missed the car park. He's put it out of bounds on the full. Penalty free kick to the Dogs, last line of defence.
Dorrington now will mop up for the Dogs. He's got the kick hard up against the point post. He'll go short and dangerously to Anderson. Couldn't mark it. Blair Holmes put immense pressure on him and they tumble it over the line. 51 out from goal in the pocket, the Rifle Brigade pocket. As the boundary umpire will throw it back in, 11-point margin, Dogs. Getting close to the 19-minute mark of the third term. Martin front position, taps it to Collins cleverly. He's at 49, spins and weaves to Coughlin. Gave it by hand to Height, fumbling ball, but was good enough. Banged it on the boot. It's a worm burner. Lockie Ross now, handball in the direction of Turner. Turner, another shot at goal, and he put this one through. Turner, son of Dick. They wouldn't even know who Dick Turner is there, would they, Jock? I wouldn't have thought so. As Sandhurst get another one back, and they are 4-11-35. Golden Square are 5-10-40. 19 in the third, thanks to Kangaroo Flat Storage on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
If Sandhurst are going to win this game, they need the likes of Height, Collins and Lee Coughlin getting their hands on the ball around the contest. Just then all three of them had involvement. That's what needs to continue to happen.
Collins didn't really get far then, but he spun forever and they just couldn't put a hand on him.
He's one of the, even though he's built like Tin Man, he's very, very hard to tackle.
They need to put him on the deck from the ball up. Lowry gets it for the Dogs, goes wide to Johnson on a lead, couldn't take the mark, gets it on the bounce, hand pass over the top, back to Lay. He's under the pump, close to the boundary line, pushed over with the foot. It'll be thrown back into play just outside forward 50 for Golden Square.
The commentator might recognise you one day like that there, Jock, when I said Dick Turner. They'll say Jock Clark in about 2090.
A lot of the older ones around here remember who Dick Turner was, but Dr. Turner, his old man, might not. Don't know. Meanwhile, from the ball up, it's got to be thrown in again. Yep, must have been a short throw. So the ball to be thrown back into play, just outside Golden Square's forward 50-metre arc. It's the Dogs leading by 5 points, 20 minutes into the third quarter.
At ground level, Dogs, Reece Much, who's come into this game a little bit, dived in after it, but couldn't get the footy out. Christian Heights there as well, so still on the outer side. Half forward flank for Golden Square. Umpire will throw it in the air. Watson did the ruck work for the Dragons. Toma tracks the footy for the Dogs towards the boundary line, and we'll have another piece of play that has to be adjudicated by the umpire and throw it up. Two decent kicks out from goal. Right half forward toward the Barnard Street end, swimming pool side. Umpire will throw it up. Compston won a big punch in the direction of Toma. Hyatt was there, however, just hacked out of the air by Green. Lowry did well, but lost it. Hyatt now, and he's been pinged. They'll have the advantage here, and Sandhurst will bring it down the wing through Coughlin.
Coughlin goes long inside forward, 50.
Hey.
Anderson! Oh, met it sensationally and took a big grab. When he needed to, he stood up. Gives it off to Dorrington, who goes wide and finds Young, who marks at half-back on the outer side. That was a super mark from Clayton Anderson. Not perhaps known for his aerial work. Now the Dogs try and work it through the centre of the ground. Have they coughed it up? No. Chance for Tracy. He goes wide, wants a target, can't find it. Kicked it straight to a Sandhurst player who's marked in defence. So the Dragons have got it. Hamish Lay just outside defensive 50. Gee, what happened? Went to play on. Got collared. Ball in dispute. Umpire said play on. It's worked inside forward 50 for the Dogs. And in fact, it's worked over the line and out of bounds for a throw in.
Great work by the big fella Johnson on the mark. Actually smothered that kick.
So throw in 40 metres around from the Dogs' goal. Up they go. Tap out. Favoured the Dragons. Collins hunts it down. Can he get there? Under the pump. Just keeps it in front of himself. Gains 20 metres. But then a pack developed. Was grabbed by a square player. I think it was Young. He was collared. And the umpire will ball it up between centre and half forward for Golden Square.
Kicking to the Barnard Street end. We're approaching time on here. Umpire will throw it up. Toma Shark the ball. He's invited to play on. They've got the advantage. One bounce, two bounces. He crosses 50. He'll send it long toward goal and put it through. Good work, Dogs. 6-10-46. Sandhurst 4-11-35. Red time in the premiership quarter. In fact, it's a minor score. So there you go there, Jock. Minor score, and we'll bring it down the wing. I think everyone except for me knew that was a behind.
No, I didn't.
Well, it's worked almost straight away back up inside forward 50 for the Dragons. But Clayton Anderson held them up with a good mark. Gives it back to Lee. Goes wide to Much. Kick was too far out in front. It's gone over the line, out of bounds for a throw-in.
No, just defending you there, Johnny. I was marking it down as a goal in the book. The goal umpire did not move.
Every player around it celebrated as if it was a goal, didn't they?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sitting up in the grandstand, boys, and the crowd up here certainly thought it was a goal. They were celebrating, the Dogs fans.
And I'm following you three, so how silly am I? But anyway, I'll know better in future. Ball up, just outside forward 50 for the Dragons. Geary gets it for square, throws it on the boot. Gains 40 metres, goes over the line, out of bounds for a throw-in on the wing, out of side. 23 and a half gone, third term. It is Golden Square in front by one straight kick.
First time I've been wrong since 1983 too, Jock. I thought Essendon were going to win the flag that year, but nevertheless, up we go in the ruck. Compston wins the tap for the Dogs. Sia players at ground level again, and they're just tying it up in the final minutes of this third term. Guess who comes up with the footy? Captain Jack Geary. He has got a big motor.
Yeah, he's super.
What a player. Up they'll go in the ruck. Compston again wins the tap. Seb Green swoops on it. Handballed. Collins. Handball was okay to Ruff. Ruff puts it on the left. Finds Lockie Ross. Outer side wing, and in fact he did mark it. He was over the line. So the free kick is going to go the other way to the Dogs. And the player with the footy looks like John Coe.
When Martin goes off the ball to half back, Compston dominates in the ruck.
Yep.
Martin's just sort of resting now. In fact, he's resting across half forward. But the Dogs clear towards the wing on the outer side. I think it might be a mark to Compston. It is. So there's the big fellow in question. Big Matty Compston got it on the wing, outer side. Goes with an absolute shocking pass. Found a teammate who's under the pump, tackled by Collins, turned over. Collins will take the free kick for the Dragons, half back outer side.
Collins, he'll give it to East. It was a short little kick, it was effective. East now will send it long. He's got Seb Green on half forward. He collects the football, then lost it. 70 out from goal. John Coe did well for the Bulldogs. Tracy offered support. They all jump on the footy and tie it up, and we'll have another ball up.
Fantastic kick from East, and Seb Green's got to mark that. You know, you're running in brilliant. You got to acknowledge your teammates' skills there and mark that ball.
Golden Square by a straight goal. We're on the half forward flank now for the Dragons. Martin won the tap, puts it at ground level, and we'll do it all again. 26 minutes gone in the third, 41 playing 35. Promises to be a big final quarter as we take you inside local finals footy on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Well, in conditions like this, if you'd asked me before the game, I would have said you'd need 14 goals to win it. I think I might have been out. Taken by Skinny Wharton, threw it on the boot, high into the forward pocket. It's thumped over the line and out of bounds for a throw-in.
Just been looking through the windows of the coach's box up in the grandstand, and Wayne Primmer, he's coached all season from up in the coach's box in the grandstand. Bernie Haberman at ground level.
Fair enough. There you go. From the throw-in, taken by Dole, threw it on the boot, went high to the point of the goal square.
Oi.
But a mark in defence for Golden Square.
He was accidentally tripped. I thought he might have got 50 then, Jock, but umpire didn't have a bar of it.
So back there, it might be, is it Thrum?
Yep.
Yep, with the footy, little Thrummy. Goes wide. Martin, would you go in his direction? I think not. Big fella stretches up and takes a mark for the Dragons right on 50.
In his defence, he had Compston and Johnson in the area, so he was probably aiming for one of them, Luke, and there was no contest.
Well, the best big man in that contest won the mark. So Martin looks like he's going to have a ping from 51 metres. Goes for home. He's given it a fair ride. He has given it every chance. Big Timmy, he has put it through. Martin kicks a monster and levels the scores.
Yeah, that's one thing as a coach. You try and kick the ball away from Tim Martin in those sort of situations because he has got the best set of hands in a contested marking situation. But in defence, as you said, he did have Golden Square's biggest two players out there as well.
27 and a half minutes gone, third term. It is 5-11-41 apiece. And I think we've said it a couple of times, Johnny, for the loser. It's all over. Red Rover.
I tell you what, Johnny, the Sandhurst fans have their smiles going pretty proudly up here in the grandstand. 4-2 in this term.
Yeah, they're going well, and Martin, for a bloke that's got a sore knee, I wouldn't mind being able to kick it 60 metres like he just did. So we're back in the middle and we'll have a secondary bounce because we're all tied up again. Bottom of the pack for the Dogs, Dale Lowry. He's a battler. Lockie Watson doing the ruck work now for the Dragons against Compston. It was picked up there. Receiving a handball was Walters. Walters, a long high ball to half forward. Intended target was Rosengren. just socketed out of the air by a Sandhurst player, sends it to the outer side wing. One-on-one contest, Morecambe versus Collins. There's some talent out there. Collins kept his feet, but the boundary line won the contest, and will have a ball in outer side.
One thing that's happened in this half is both teams have dropped the spare man behind the ball, and it's just a natural 6-on-6 at either end.
So throw in on the wing, outer side, plenty up, maybe a dead heat. Chance down there was knocked down by Watson. Taken by the Dragons, they go long, inside forward 50, height the target. Good spoil Anderson. Oh, he's in trouble now though, the defender. Has to crawl on it after hands and knees. Can locks it up, and Pole balled it up 35 metres out from the Dragons' goal. Closing on three-quarter time, scores a level, going to have an absolute cracker of a finish. And the umpire looks to sort them out. He said, leave a little gap for me to get out of after I balled it up. Martin wins it down. Wanted Lee Coughlin. Couldn't take it. Chance down there for Lockie Ross. Got it. Lost it in a tackle. Hacked out of the ground. It's just outside forward 50 now for the Dragons. Was taken by Mitch Dole. He was locked up in a tackle, and the umpire will ball it up. 29 and a half gone. Third term. 41 apiece. Martin wins another tap. Inside forward 50. Taken by Geary. Couldn't trap it. East takes the football. Wanted Collins. Was too hot for him. He couldn't take it. Hand pass out of the traffic. Chance down there for the Dogs. Player couldn't find the handle on it. Pack develops. Umpire will ball it up. And who laid the tackle? Big Martin on Hamish Morecambe.
On the half-forward flank now here for the Sandhurst Dragons. They're the only team you feel could probably kick a goal with only, a minute left at the most. They've coughed it up here, the Dogs. Collins received the ball, put it inside forward 50. It was an ugly ball, just swooped on by Coe. Coe put it on the boot. He didn't really pick out a player, but it was fortunate enough that it ended up with Captain Jack Geary. Defensive side of centre wing, broadcast side. Sucking in the big ones, Captain Jack.
I think he got up a bit gingerly, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He's ran about 58 kilometres today. He sends it long, dumps it down the wing. Up they fly. Good, strong, contested mark by Rosengren. Well, too far out to score. It's a decent 2 kicks. Runs his measure. He sends it long. A shank-looking ball. There's nobody there. Green tracks the football. Donegan was there for the Dogs. 51 out from goal, but it was nice work by McKinley, and he sends it to the outer side wing, looking for Johnny Coughlin, but the siren sounds. So it's three-quarter time here. We're all tied up. Get ready for a big final quarter in this last term of season 2017 for one of these clubs. It is Golden Square 5-11-41, mirror image Sandhurst 5-11-41. We'll be back in a moment. We continue with more live and local direct footy. This is Bendigo's Fresh FM. Again, as both teams go into their respective positions, still the wind just favouring, I suppose, the City end a little bit, Jock, but it hasn't, well, there's only been 5 goals apiece, so you can't really say which is the scoring end, can you?
Notice both sides have got a loose behind the ball. Cody Price and for Sandhurst and Sean Young for Golden Square.
So Sandhurst will be kicking to the Barnard Street end and Golden Square to the City end. For the last term here, 2017, this elimination final in the semi-final, it's Jock Clark.
Up they go, Compston up high, got first hands on it. Craig's after it for Sandhurst, can't take it, it's hacked out of the middle. Golden Square inside forward 50, free kick. Dogs free kick early. Think it might be Jake Thrum with the football.
It is.
Player on the mark, 45 from goal. And Thrum gets back and sets himself to have a shot. Doesn't take a lot of time. Jake Thrum from 51 metres goes for home. It'll fall short into the square. Thumped away by the Dragons' defence. Forward pocket. Chance for a square player to take it. That was Morecambe.
Oh.
He was tackled over the line and pinged. Well, thought he might have been the wrong side of the line. But anyway, free kick Dragons. Last line of defence. Player to take it down there will be Isaac Ruff.
He'll give it to Cody Price. He'll send it wide to the opposite.
Good kick.
Yeah, it was to Rootsy. Still in his defensive zone. We're now on the outer side wing, swimming pool side. He put in the direction of Collins, couldn't win it. Kieran did, though, for the Dogs. He'll send it back in the direction of Johnson, who led hard into the pocket underneath the scoreboard, and he'll line them up again.
The breeze has picked up, Johnny. is favouring the City end, perhaps a goal or two in it. And Golden Square at three-quarter time in their huddle, Nick Carter, one of the assistants, was really wanting to emphasise the importance of the Dogs making the most of that breeze, pushing forward.
Now this is Johnson. We saw Timmy Martin kick a goal from a similar position last quarter. This one is a long, high ball, but the goal umpire taps his chest for a minor, so they take the lead. Golden Square, 5-12-42. Sandhurst 5-11-41. 1.5 in the last, thanks to Kangaroo Flat Storage, as we take you inside finals footy on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
So Price brings it back into play for the Dragons. Long and direct, straight down the ground. Finds a teammate who marks at half-back. Hand pass off to Height. The good grab before was Craig. Height's kick goes towards half-forward. Taken down there by Blair Holmes. His kick towards Collins. Collins just outside forward 50 for the Dragons. Puts it inboard. And I reckon, is that Craig who's followed it all the way down and taken a good grab?
Craig took the contested mark at centre-half back at virtually defensive 50, and he's ran all the way down and now passed it in.
Gets a lead, goes into the pocket and finds a teammate. Mark is taken. Is it Lockie Ross?
Yep.
Right, well, in fact, he's over the boundary line. He's almost lining up a couple of pots in the South Social Rooms. And he throws the bit of grass up, I like that, and he'll line up. Player on the mark, 35 from goal. Ross, tight angle, tough to that end. Comes in, fires a goal, and has put it through for a minor score. I'm not preempting the goal umpire at any stage anymore. So scores level up again at 5-12-42 apiece. 3 minutes gone, final term. Thanks to Choices Flooring, Bendigo Bulk Carpets.
Bit of involvement on Twitter at Bendigo's Best. David Windram saying it's a great game, and Sharpie saying calm the square.
Dorrington sends it beyond 50 to the broadcast side. Compston took it, strong mark. Now he'll dump it long to half forward. Intended target there with B. Rosengren. Couldn't mark it. Spills to the back of the pack. Han, one-on-one contest. He was up against Welsh. Welsh just tapped it along the line for the Dogs. And it goes over and we'll have a ball in.
Harry Donegan received a bit of a hard knock just in front of us, in front of the broadcast position just a moment ago, but he's limping around. I think he'll be able to run it out, no problems.
Good effort, Welsh, there a minute ago. Probably gained 30 metres for his club.
Yeah, the boundary umpire is 40 out from goal when he heaves it in the Rifle Brigade pocket. Up they go, Compston v Martin, ground level, 40 metres out. Tomer's lurking, keep your eye on him because it didn't get to him, in fact. It was picked up there by a Dragons player who kicked a rainmaker, but Dalrymple, 70 out from goal, he marks the ball and sent it inboard.
Goes inboard, finds Tommy Tomer, who takes it, plays on from 50, goes for home and kicks a goal, I think. Yes. Got caught out before. Good play, Dogs. So they get the initial little break in the final term. And that is the margin. One straight goal, 6-12, 48 Golden Square, 5-12-42 Sandhurst, 4.5 gone final term, thanks to Aussie Disposal.
A spectacular finish there by Tom Tomer, and three-quarter time in the MCFNL, thanks to Norm Jenkin for this update. Carisbrook still dominating, 13 goals, 16-94 to Royal Park, 2 goals, 2-14. So Royal Park's hopes of being in their first grand final since 1993 looks like it'll wait another year.
Compson won against Martin, who's gone back into the middle. Oh, Shark the ball. Tomer ran to half forward, banged it on the left. He's got two leading players. Let's see what we can do with this footy with Morecambe. Couldn't get it. 48 metres out. They're sharing it around. The Dragons now. Collins sends it wide in the direction of Martin, tracks it towards the boundary line. He picked it up though, just inside, banged it on the boot. And a mark's been taken by Dalrymple, and he'll send it in the middle, and he'll find Lowry.
Lowry's got space, gets support. Hand passes off to Jack Geary, who runs his measure. Long to full forward. Johnson at the back. Good tussle down there with layoff hands, and through for a minor score. Dogs lead out to 7 points. Dragons bring it in very quickly. Bouncing ball. Montague's got it. He was tackled over the line by Jack Geary, and it'll be thrown back into play about 60 metres around from the Dogs' goal. Now it's gone up a gear. Now they're a bit really into the pressure of the contest.
You got that pacemaker in there, Jock?
I've got to turn it on though. I've got to find the on switch.
It's interfering with the radio broadcast. Turn it off. Tim Martin puts it in the direction of Collins. Andy Collins couldn't grab it and goes over the line directly in front of us.
in these first 6 minutes, Golden Square seem to have the run. They seem to be the ones that are working harder to get the outnumber at the contest.
They've got the lead by 7 points. 6 minutes in to the last. Tim Martin against Compston. Hand there for the Dragons. He needs to be cool. He does by hand to Hyatt, to Collins. They're under pressure. Collins on the boot. Underground worm burner. Collins backs up his own footy. Captain Jack dives in underneath it. Got one in the back. Umpire didn't see it. It was blindsided. And the umpire will throw it up. Right in front of us again, 6:13:49 Golden Square, Sandhurst 5:12:42, 7 minutes in the last, thanks to Kangaroo Flat Storage on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
A desperate contest has become even more desperate in this last term. Ball up, chance for the Dogs, hand pass over the top, player took it, Welsh, tackled to the ground. Umpire said he had no opportunity, it'll be a ball up. Just outside forward 50 for Square. They lead by 7 points, 7 minutes gone, final term. Winner plays in the preliminary final next week against Strathstorm. From the ball up, the Dragons take it, quickly thrown on the boot, down the wing, grandstand side. Anderson's there for Golden Square, takes it, throws it on the boot, playing in front, Welsh takes the mark. Jack Geary runs past, takes the hand pass, goes inside forward 50, can't hit up a target, 20 out from the Dogs' goal. Dragons defence under the pump, ball locked up, ball up, ball up, every act, a pressure act from now to the end of the contest.
How good is Jack Geary? He just keeps going and going. He's probably won 4 or 5 clearances already this quarter.
30 metres out for the Dogs. No clear winner in the ruck. It just spills out. Diving in there was Donegan. Did well. In fact, it was Jack Geary again. He's just racking up the possessions. Around the body, Johnson received the ball and popped it through. Jeez, that came from nowhere. The Dogs now go to 7:13:55. They are leading 5:12:42. 8 minutes in the last, thanks to Aussie Disposals, as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
That's his 41st goal of the season, Dylan Johnston. He's really finding some confidence, Luke, at the right time of the year.
Yeah, we kicked 4 last week, and that was his 3rd. So he's a big boy. If they can get enough delivery to him out in space, he's going to probably be the difference.
He doesn't rack up a lot of possession, so but when he gets it, he's a chance.
Yeah.
Good on him. Good on the boy. Back in the centre. Ball up. Up they go. Compston won it down to Jack Geary, who gets a hand pass out for the Dogs towards half forward. Gee, there was a tough contest there. Both players got up. Morecambe was the dog involved. Umpire says, give it to me after a pack develops and I'll ball it up. Between centre and half forward for Golden Square. Square pressing at the moment. Their margin is 13 points. It's been a tight, tough contest all day. Compston won it down. Went straight to John O'Coglino, threw it on the boot. Goes back towards the centre of the ground. Contest taken by East. Good work for the Dragons. East picks it up, runs, kicks long inside forward 50. Huge thump away by the Dogs' defence. Who was that player down there, Johnny? Will Lee. Gained about 30 metres and put it over the boundary line so they can reset their defence. It'll be thrown in just outside forward 50 for Sandhurst.
They need to get another goal here because Golden Square, your sense, have had the momentum in these opening 9 or so minutes of this final term. Umpire will hurl it back in. It'll be Compston against Hyatt. 49 out from goal for Sandhurst. It's just hacked beyond 50 by the Dogs in the direction of Welsh. Contest forms outer side wing. Crowd loved the hard work by both clubs as the umpire will throw it up. Outer side wing, swimming pool side. Dogs are kicking to the city end, Sandhurst to Barnard Street end. Up they go in the ruck. Martin won the tap to no advantage. Collins is in the area, dives in after the football. Jack Geary's there for the Dogs as well. He's on half back, stands up out of the pack and boots it away, but not quick enough because the umpire had blown his whistle. We'll have a ball up.
A very good observation by David Wistrom on Twitter at Bendigo's Best. 9 of the goals today have been kicked to the city end, so that's the which Golden Square attack in this last term.
How good is it to see Jack Geary and Andy Collins going head to head?
Yeah.
2 great players in our competition. Ball up just outside forward 50 for the Dragons. Thump down was taken. It might have been Lee Coughlin who threw it on the boot. Went high. Marcus taken.
Have a guess who for the Dogs?
Jack Geary.
Yeah.
So Geary just down defensive 50. It was a high ball. Stood under it. Took it. Goes back now, kicks long down the outer side. Is that a long kick? He's kicked at 70. Up they go. No one could take the mark. Loose ball. Martin takes it for the Dragons. Gave it to Lee Coughlin. He was dispossessed. Through the pack. Oh, you better bounce it, son. The Golden Square player took it and ran too far.
Tommy
Toma. Umpire was all over it. Toma just couldn't decide where he was going to go, and he got caught, and a free kick centre of the ground will go to Andy Collins for the Dragons. 11 and a half gone final term. 55 plays 42. Golden Square in front.
He tries to direct traffic. He's trying to get players in. Lockie Ross to lead for him. Couldn't quite get it. Easter's there on half forward. Spins one way then the other. Now he's out too far from goal, but he's got Lockie Ross breaking hard into the pocket, who takes a chest mark in what Joel Peterson calls the Sam Mildren pocket. He goes short over the top to Joel Wharton, who takes a mark.
He's a left footer.
Yeah, but he's still hard up against the line. Sometimes it's difficult as a left footer. It depends which way your natural curl goes. Let's see what he can do with this. Well, it does, because some left footers, they
You're
actually
not talking about my hair.
That's exactly right. Oh, it goes inboard, and East is just left loose and tracking there, Luke, and he's going to line them up and just open up the angle.
Zach East is probably one of the best kicks in Sandhurst's side, so he's probably one of the guys you don't want to have the football.
You're going to ride it in?
If you're Golden Square.
You're going to ride it on?
He'll kick the cover off it, but I'm not sure where the accuracy going on today's.
Zach East, it's 55 playing 42. Sandhurst need this ball to go through the middle. It's a long, high ball, and it's poor and a minor. So 5-13, 55 Sandhurst. 7-13, that's, what's that, 43. Sorry, 5-13, 43 Sandhurst. 7-13, 55 Golden Square. 13 and last on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Jack Geary just came to the bench for a spell, absolutely gasping for air, an indication, as we know, of how hard he's been working.
2 goals the difference. Long kick out by the Dogs. Compson in the pack. Couldn't take the mark. Have they got Crummers? Chance for them down there. It was taken by Lowry. His kick went high up in the air. Went to no one in particular. Skinny Wharton's in there battling hard. Dogs have got some numbers in defence. No one could take it effectively. And in fact was pushed over the line and out of bounds for a throw-in. Still across half forward for Sandhurst. It's the Dogs in front by 2 goals. 13 and a half minutes gone. Final term. This is the first semi-final. The loser's out. The winner plays Strathstorm next Saturday in the preliminary final.
Up they go in the ruck. Compston, he won the tap. Still a lot of players around this ball on left half forward for Sandhurst, which is the broadcast side, and we'll have another ball up. So Golden Square will probably, it's too early to shut up shop, but they'll just try to tighten it up a little bit. A backhander by Martin to no Dragons in particular. Toma picks it up off half back. One bounce. Handball to Welsh. Welsh over the top. Rosengren. Handball, Walters. Walters now into the corridor. Hot spot looking for Donegan. It's the Dragons though. Hand mops up. He gives it to Green. Green will send it wide to Montague. Bounces neatly for him. Handball over the top. Good work it was by Hand. Butted up his own ball. Now he'll send it inside forward 50. Ross off hand. Tracking the footy east. Couldn't get it. Young now. Tracy. Handball to Walters. Off half ball. Back. Dalrymple will send it long to the outer side wing.
Hot footy. Kick towards half forward for the Dogs, but Hand in the road for the Dragons takes it. Goes to Big Martin, who marks forward to centre. He's got it for the Dragons. Big Marto. Hart. What a heart he's got, the big fella, probably playing on one leg. Dumps it inside forward 50. Up they go. No one could take the mark. Dogs defence, just scrap it back towards the centre of the ground. Turned over. Here come the Dragons again. Taken by Skinny Wharton. Got it to Lee Coughlin. Back to Wharton. Through the traffic. From 45. Goes to the goal square. Nobody home for the Dragons. The Dogs will repel wide to the outer side. Got a player in space from half back. Hand pass over the top to Keating. Goes back. Bouncing ball. Here come the Dogs to half forward. 2 bounces, Tommy Toma. And then I think he just ran out of gas, didn't he?
Welsh.
Rather. Oh, he's been paid to push in the back. Free kick, Dogs out of side half forward. Welsh plays on. Long. Inside forward 50. Will anybody get there? Chance for Rosengren to take it. Well, he kept it in, but he got it straight back to the Dragons' defence. plenty of them, and they should get out of trouble.
Wharton sends it to half-back, a nervous ball. Coghlan was good enough though, picked it up. He lost his footing, fell over his own feet. Now Golden Square with a chance. Keating picks it up, couldn't get out. Good work, Johnny Coghlan though. He's coughed it up, he kicked it to Will Lee, the opposition of the Dogs. He'll send it wide to Welsh of the Dogs. One bounce, he'll have two bounces. Oh, he's run a long way. Umpire let him get away with it. Johnson now received the ball from 51. He'll send it to the goal square, but there's nobody home. And Lockie Ross takes a mark, and he'll relieve the pressure and kick it to Montague.
Montague's got it, still inside defensive 50 for the Dragons. There's absolutely an air of urgency on both sides at the moment. They will be exhausted. Been a great contest. Montague from the back pocket for the Dragons. Dumps it high down the wing. Grandstand side, Dragons mark Ross. Yes, says the umpire, Lockie Ross. And he gets up and plays on quickly, goes across the ground. Oh, Wanted East, who fumbled. Umpire might have paid the mark. Doesn't matter. East gets it. Kicks it high. Cross towards the wing, outer side. Hit out of the air towards half forward for Sandhurst. Taken away down there, though, by Jake Thrum. He's got a player in Young who takes it on the wing, outer side. Goes back to half forward for the Dogs. But it's a Sandhurst mark in defence, just on defensive 50.
Montague will receive the kick. They'll come laterally. And they're working it nicely here, Dragons. It's 55 playing 43. Alex Wharton stands up, half-back, broadcast side. He'll send it down the wing to a contest. Pack forms. Intensity is up. Let's see what the boys can do with this ball. Wharton receives it by hand over the top to his brother in Alex. That was Joel to Alex. Got one high. Umpire let it go. Dole goes around the body. Umpire's letting play go on, and there's a player down for the Dogs who looks in a fair bit of trouble, so keep your eye on that, Jacko.
Will do.
And a free kick.
No, I think they might have just stepped over the boundary line, did they?
True
out of bounds.
Throw in.
Is it Dal Rimple, is it?
Yes, it is.
Now, true centre wing position. Let's reset here. Golden Square of 55. Sandhurst of 43. 12-point margin. 18 minutes in the last. Pascal Craig for the Dragons. Puts it in the path of East. Handball over the top, but off half-back. Thrum for the Dogs. He'll send it wide and give it to Young.
Good work, Young on defensive 50. Goes back to a teammate who goes wide to the wing. Out of side, nobody. Oh, is that a mark? No, play on the call.
Play on.
Contested and forced over the line and out of bounds.
Do you know who'll be really enjoying this last quarter? Strathfield side.
Oh, you're dragging.
The amount of energy that's been going into this game, and in particular this last quarter, is very, very draining.
Yep. Interesting who's got petrol left for the last 5 or 8 minutes from the throw-in on the wing, out of side, stump back over the line and out of bounds for a throw-in. The two young ruckmen will do battle from the throw-in. Will be Keating for Golden Square, Lockie Watson for Sandhurst. Up they go, push and shove. Not sure, probably dead heat. Ball drops to the pack and they jump all over and the umpire will ball it up. It's between centre and centre wing. Time clock shows 19 gone final term. 2 goals the difference. Square in front, 7-13 to the Dragons, 5-13.
Out of side wing, it's the calm before the storm here. Who will get the ascendancy? Lee Coghlan tapped it towards the boundary line for the Dragons, and it tumbles over and we'll have a throw in.
Well, the urgency's got to be with Sandhurst. If Golden Square kick the next goal, I can't see Sandhurst winning the match. So Sandhurst need one in the next couple of minutes to give themselves a real opportunity.
This is where you need to take the game on, play the corridor, because it's all over next week. Watson for the Dragons puts it at his feet. Montague screams for a free kick, won't get one. Umpire will throw it up as the ball is at the bottom of the pack. Just marginally forward here for Sandhurst. Right half forward, outer side, swimming pool side. Watson will do the ruck work again against Keating of the Dogs, so the big guns aren't working the ruck at the moment. Ground level, Dale Lowry, and again we'll have a ball up.
There's some very anxious faces, Johnny, up here in the grandstand. Sandhurst have only kicked 2 behinds in this term, so it hasn't been the best of starts to them.
Up they go in the ruck, 3 in a row. It'll be a ball up, and I can't get out of there. Jock Clark, you will, with a 12-point margin at the 21. Well, it's 20 minutes and 38 seconds in the last on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
There's only been 2 goals kicked in the last term. You wouldn't think it's going to be a long quarter at this stage. From the ball up, work towards the wing on the outer side. Dogs take it hurriedly. Kick towards forward 50.
Oh, push.
Johnston took the mark. Will he be allowed? Did he play on?
I reckon it was a push.
What's going on? Is it a push? It is. It's a free kick to Sandhurst. Big Johnson took it and he was heading off. Then he was tackled. I didn't know
Rough.
whether he'd marked it. What happened? Rough takes it. Rough. Goes wide. Little kick. Finds a teammate. Cody Price has got it. Close to the boundary line on the outer side of the ground. He can dump it long, but he goes short. Good kick. Finds a teammate. That was John O'Coughlin. Gave it to Andrew Collins. Back to John Coughlin. Coughlin, good kick. Centre of the ground. Lay. He's got some space for the Dragons. Turns. Goes to East and he marks right on forward 50. Zach East for the Dragons.
Oh, here we
Player
go.
loose in the pocket. Lockie Ross goes to him. He marks it. Plays on and kicks a point. Lockie Ross had the time. Maybe it was the pressure. Margin back to 11 points. 7-13, 55 the square. 5-14, 44 Dragons. 22 gone final term.
Could it be a handy point as Thrum's got the footy and he sends it to the wing and he finds Much, because that makes the margin 11 points. 2 straight kicks. 22 minutes just ticked over here. Much, he goes long down the line. Toma is there. Sees it over the line. He was happy to see it over. 70 metres out from goal, outer side. And we'll throw it in.
Final score in A-grade netball, 2 boys. Gisborne defeated Kangaroo Flat 51-38. So Gisborne by 13 goals in A-grade netball today.
In attack for the Dogs, 70 metres out from goal. Toma overran the football. They're at ground level again, and 70 out. We'll have a throw up. 11-point margin, 7-13, 55. 5-14, 44. 2 straight kicks will win it for the Dragons. 22 minutes, 44 seconds on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
There's the ball up, though. It's down the wrong end for the Dragons. It's at Golden Square's half-forward line. Toma after it. Couldn't keep his feet. Pushed out in the direction of Wharton. He can't take it. Plenty of physicality involved in the contest. Has been all day, really. And the umpire comes in and will ball it up still across half-forward for Golden Square. They are a kick and a bit from goal, and maybe a kick and a bit from sealing the game if they could get the next. Or can the Dragons get back into it from the ball up? Going through without the football. Dragons player couldn't take it. Umpire's picked out a free kick. Dragons, it'll get, yes it will, it'll go to them.
Craig.
Is it Lay or Craig? Craig's got it at half back. Needs to get a wriggle on, Pascal.
Bring it into the middle, Craig. Bring it into the middle. You've got Johnny
Bring it
Coughlin there.
somewhere.
Yeah, you've got to. You've got to play high reward football here, high risk. Thrum floats across the pack, but a free kick's been given to Martin.
Oh.
He was held out of the contest. Now Martin, he will bang it long inside forward 50, looking for McKinley. John Coe did well, punched the footy towards the boundary line, tumbles over 20 metres from goal and will have a ball in.
You're right, Sandhurst need to look at that clock and realise there's not many minutes left in this game, not many minutes left in their season unless they get that urgency going. They seem to be playing a little bit stop-start. They've got to take that risk now.
Nothing to lose. Throw it in. Umpire does. Still metres out from goal. 20 metres out. Ground level. It's just players diving in. Afton at the football. Can't get a clean possession. Thrum shared it around. He gave it to Toma. Tried to give it to Captain Jack Geary by hand, but it was too severe, and over the line we'll throw it in.
A goal here to Sandhurst too, Johnny, would be an absolute one against the trend. There's only been 3 goals kicked to the Barnard Street end today.
So the ball will be thrown back into play. Forward pocket for the Dragons. Up they go. Height got rid of his opponent. Nobody could get a clean possession. Attempted kick off the ground, missed. Pack develops plenty of numbers there. And the umpire comes in to ball it up. 40 metres out from the Dragons' goal. See if the Dragons get one. 5-point ball game. You get nervous in the Golden Square camp then, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you definitely would.
There's the ball up. Deep in the forward zone for the Dragons. They trail by 11 points. Dragons player took it. Ran into a wall of Golden Square defenders. Umpire's picked out a free kick.
Johnny Coe, I reckon.
Which way is he pointing?
Johnny Coe's got it.
Square free kick. Last line of defence. Coe will clear wide to half-back.
Welsh, he flew high, flew early. Here comes the Dragons, though. Picked up by Alex Wharton, a rainmaker to the hot spot, into the corridor. Craig is there, tries to wrench it out. He comes again, grabbed the football, but 3 Golden Square players bind him up. It was good tackling, 48 metres out, directly in front for the Dragons. They need to get one quickly. Just about to tick over to 26 minutes. Only must be a couple of minutes remaining. Martin wins the tap. No clean possession. Oh, Wharton grabbed it. Smothered ball. Oh, it's hacked in the direction of Montague. 2 metres out. Has put it through. They're alive. The Dragons. 6:14.50. Trailing 7:13.55. 5-point margin. 26 minutes. Thanks to Kangaroo Flat Storage on Bendigo's Fresh FM. Luke, what did you think about that?
Sometimes you just got to throw the ball on the boot and get it moving forwards, and that's exactly what they did. We had repeated stoppages there. Someone's just attacked that football. Ball spilt to Joel Wharton. He's kicked it forward, and Montague was lucky enough to be on the end of it and kick that goal. 5 points, it does. It just comes down to centre clearance now. The clean break to Sandhurst, and Golden Square will be very, very nervous.
Square bench looking at the timekeepers. Time clock shows 26 and a half gone, final term. 5-point ball game. Dragons get another goal. They're in front from the centre clearance. Goes directly across the ground. Wharton's got a break. Can he pick it up? Skinny. Oh, whip it out it. Now a chance for the Dogs. Donegan gets back. Long hand pass to Tracy. Missed the target. Chance again for the Dragons through Ruff. He's lost it in a tackle. Umpire comes in and is going to ball it up on the true wing grandstand side.
Nervous Dragons there, Jock, wasn't there? They had 3 opportunities to put it forward. They've got some experience around the footy. Hyatt couldn't get it. Cody Price is there. He couldn't get it. Lee Coughlin does. Gives it to East, but he's had to backtrack to half back over the top to Alex Wharton. Handball to Price. Price now long to half forward. McKinley, he gives it to Craig. He's 40 out against the boundary line. It'll go to the goal line. A marks. Oh, it was dropped by Ross. Metres out from goal. Trump's put it out deliberately out of bounds. Umpire didn't agree, and a free kick, however, might be given to Golden Square. It was.
No, I think he's called out of bounds, and the Sandhurst players are saying it was out on the full.
So let's just reset. 5 metres out from goal. Lockie Ross. Oh,
it's been called out on the full, boys. A lot of confusion down here, not only on the ground but in the grandstand too.
I reckon the player with the footy might be Turner. Let's just see.
Or is it Lockie Ross?
Lockie Ross, yeah, they look alike. It is Lockie Ross. Goes the banana and misses. Just snuck it in for a minor.
Hearts and mouths on the square bench in front of us.
Bernie Haberman on ground levels really barking instructions, I can tell you, boys.
It was Turner, so we should have went with the first one. 6:15.51, playing 7:13.55, so a kick in it on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Kick out short. Anderson takes the mark. And passes off to a teammate. Long bomb down the wing. Grandstand side. Johnson in front. Couldn't take the mark. Trummed at the back by Ruff for the Dragons. He just dumped it into the centre of the ground. Taken by Skinny Wharton's been great today. Back to half forward for the Dragons. But it's chopped off by the Dogs' defence. They just kick it high and long. Bouncing ball. Nobody can take it. Lay at the back. Has it gone over the line and out of bounds? It has.
It did go out of bounds, Jock, and well, Bernie Haberman just keeps saying, hold it, settle down, calm things down. He wants the boys to control the footy. Golden Square. They're up by 4.
Easy to say calm down. Throw in. It's across half forward for the Dogs. Tracy after it. Went without the football. Collins has got it for the Dragons at half back. He's locked up and the umpire balled it up just outside Golden Square's forward 50. The Dogs lead by 4 points. Time clock 29 and a half gone. Final term.
On half forward for the Dogs. Sandhurst need to play the corridor. High risk, high reward, but it's all the Dogs. Toma now. Oh, it's an ugly ball. East intercepted. He's on half back. He's got a player out in Zeb Green if he can find him out of side wing. It's a poor kick. Poor bounce. It was cruel. Welsh there. He got one too high for the Dogs and off half forward. There was their chance, I reckon, Luke.
That's the game, I think.
He had a player out on the outer side wing and it just didn't find him, and now the Dogs will slow it down.
Wants to take every bit of time he can, Welsh.
Welsh on half forward for the Dogs. They're going to play possession football now. He kicks it 30 back to Dorrington. Now they're just trying to break, and this is real AFL stuff. They're going to play possession football, a short ball. He's found a teammate, and that looks like Keating.
Coe's
There we go.
Doesn't matter who's got it. Final siren. The Dogs have got up by 4 points. They had their chances, the Dragons. Final score here, 7-13-55. Golden Square have won the game, 6-15-51. And what a climactic finish to that game, Luke. They had their chances, didn't they?
They certainly had their chances, Sandhurst. Just late in that last couple of 3 or 4 minutes, it was all Sandhurst. But the last quarter, to me, 2 players stood up for Golden Square, Jack Geary and Tom Tomer. When the game was on, 2 stars stood up and got it done for their team.
Said before the game, there was those two and maybe Jakey Thrum that I thought were the keys for the Bulldogs, and it's probably proved a bit that way. Sensational performance. What a final series. Last night the difference was what, Johnny? 3 points?
3 points, yeah.
And today 4 points.
And we had 9 points between Square and Stratford, say, in the qualifying final as well. So we've had some absolute ripping games so far in the final series.